Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live right here on Thinking Critical YouTube. We've got the best damn comic book show and podcast that you ever find in the news, the world, or YouTubes or anything like that. We got a fantastic panel. We got a lot of stuff came out concerning DC Comics mostly this week, but we got a little bit of Marvel content in there as well. And the man that's mocking me as we speak, who was very late to the party as usual, the Fatal Diva himself. Fatal J, how you doing?
Okay, this man right here just said that I'm late all the time. This is the same guy. The last time I was on the stream with him, he left in the middle of the stream to feed his dogs. So, sir, you have nothing to say against me. This is your boy Fatal J. Thank y'all for coming out and Thinking Critical. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe and make this the biggest comic book channel known to human mankind history.
It would be nice. I'm not going to apologize for feeding my kids or my dogs, Fatal J. I got responsibilities.
I didn't say nothing about the kids. I said the dog, sir. In the middle of the stream, you left.
The dog is kind of my daughter. That's at least the way we treat her. So
I can understand. My wife have a cat, and I've grown to love him. So,
how was your birthday celebration last weekend? It wasn't your birthday, but you were celebrating a birthday. I heard you were in a Speedo on the beach.
I was celebrating this wife special birthday, and yes, I told you not to tell anybody about that. You love embarrassing
hammock
me
action,
on this show. Why do you love embarrassing me? Yes, I had to do that. I had to make that sacrifice.
Well, it's her birthday. You got to give her something special.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. Show her what's up. Also joining us, we've got Drew from Comics Elite. Had the weekend off last weekend. You were at a Comic-Con, but you made it back. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing great, Wes. We started fulfilling Born in Blood last week, Thursday and Friday. About 1,000 to go, and already fulfilled about 300. So, yeah, everyone should be getting their stuff very soon if they haven't gotten it already.
Sir, how can I get that? How can I?
Well, I think you have to order it. I think we do have some copies on the Merck Publishing website, merckpublishing.com. Or if you're in the Indiana area, you can come to the Indiana Comic-Con this weekend. We have a few copies available. Certain covers, like the beautiful Mike Chrome cover, we have that available at the show. And I might be walking around, and you might be able to meet me and maybe have you sign a copy.
I love meeting celebrities, so let's make that happen.
Well, let's just tamper. I'm not nowhere near that. No.
Yes, you are, sir.
No,
yes,
you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You said it, I didn't say it.
And also, don't forget to go check out Fatal J's YouTube channel, which you probably already have. He's the fastest rising YouTuber in Lord of the Rings and
I'm dropping a video today. I was just too lazy to edit it last night because I needed much needed rest, and I was a little gassy. So I said, you know what? I need to let that pass before I start editing. Absolutely. So I can feel comfortable. So in the next 2 hours after this stream, I'm going to drop a video.
So what you're saying is
comic video, or is it pop culture?
It's pop culture. It's something that Amazon is doing. Do you know Amazon is actually deleting the dislikes? They was at 3 million dislikes. Now all of a sudden they back at 1 million dislikes. So the video that it's not bots. That's not bots. That's people who legitimately hate that show, man. I'm gonna talk about it soon though. After the comic Alfrenados show. How do you say Alfrenados?
Aficionados.
I could never say that in my life. Alfrenados?
Is that a Mexican appetizer?
Why haven't you done a Halo video?
I thought about doing it because that show sucks so bad.
That's what people want to hear. They've heard about your Lord of the Rings stuff. You need to do Halo, bro.
Well, I got a Fatal J trash series, so that's going to be next. Halo's trash is coming.
You should be do Picard as well, man.
I'm actually going to start doing stuff. How do you know my channel, sir? Get out of my DMs.
Listen, because if I were you and I had your YouTube channel, that's what I would do.
I'm going to do a Star Trek is trash series, Halo trash series, might do an Obi-Wan trash series, because I think that show is going to be trash too. Because to be truthful, and I'm not trying to divert from the show, but that Obi-Wan Kenobi show is not going to be about Obi-Wan. It's going to be about the black chick. I promise you. I promise you. It's going to be about the black chick. Go back and watch the trailers. She got more airtime than he did.
And we got a lot of great people here in the chats. We got Aaron Sparrow with Merck Magazine. We got Gabe Hernandez from Weird Comics DC.
Shout out to Chillmonger.
Just went over 1,100 subscribers. Definitely check out MVP. Chillmonger talking about Comics Alfredo sauce because Fatal J can't say aficionados. Roddy Boy Comics. We got a lot of great people in here. Thank you all so much for joining us. We got Eric Breen. Man, that man is a legend.
Yes, sir.
He loves Eric. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Comics Elite YouTube channel. Drew, you guys do weekly videos, and if you like comic book recommendations, you read everything.
That's absolutely true. We read everything, and we do not pull our punches. Fortunately, so far we haven't gotten some feedback like Gabe Hernandez has, but I'm just waiting for that to start happening here in a little bit. But
he's going to give you the middle finger soon enough.
Yeah, soon enough.
But there are links to Fatal J and Drew's YouTube channels in the video description as well, because I know people have been asking for those. So if you don't want to go and search for it, it's in the video description. We've also got Josh McDonald, used to be a reviewer for BatmanNews.com. Now he's more behind the scenes, and he's the guy behind PopByCulture.com. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well, Wes. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How do you like being here on the Comics Aficionados?
Yeah. I thought it's Afronados.
Afronados?
Bro, look, quit talking about me. It's certain words I can't say right, man. You should understand it as a fellow Texan, okay? We cannot say certain words right. Am I true? What?
I mean, I can. I don't know. What water were you drinking from?
Oh,
So what you just saying is Fatal J is the dumb guy, and I'm not going to associate myself
You're from
with
Houston,
him.
right? That's what it is.
All I'm going to say is Fatal J's burritos may have been a little more fatal than he thought.
I'm about to
Yeah,
eat burritos live on the stream. Oh, it's coming.
Very nice.
Oh,
All right, Drew. So Awful Comic Critic wants to know, are you going to be in the Indie Comic-Con today?
Yes, I will be there this afternoon. After Wes, we got a couple of videos to do. After that, I will be there.
Perfect. So definitely go out there and check out the Comics Elite booth, and you will see Drew. He was a great dude. We also got Doc. How you doing, Doc?
I am
X-Men news this week, huh?
Yeah, and it was all fucking terrible. Almost entirely goddamn terrible.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers, but yeah, it was pretty not good.
We've also got Chuck Gibson in the chats. He's a comic book inker. Used to work for WildStorm Universe back in the day. He's done a lot of really cool comics. So love seeing Chuck in there. He's a good dude.
What up, Chuck?
Love to see him do a full-time return to comics in the near future. Don't know if that's going to happen. But we had some stuff happen in the comic book universe. It's going to be bigger than that. We've had this consolidation of Warner Brothers and Discovery into Warner Brothers Discovery. And it sounds like where the big priorities are DC characters. And it sounds like there's going to be an overhaul, Fatal J. You are a man that has access to behind the scenes. What's going on? What's the latest you know
of? Sir, no, I'm not. And you know what? I'm actually looking forward to something like this. The current DCEU and DC Comics. I'm just going to say it like this. DC Comics has the best characters when you compare Marvel and DC. It's true. Just the shoddy storytelling and all that. The only edge that Marvel has is they have better movies. But when it comes to DC has the best everything. Best villains, best heroes, best character designs, all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to this. I want to see a DC Comics overall. So what's the guy name that took over, the new CEO?
David Zaslav.
I want to see what Zaslav got cooking. I want to see what he can do. Do you think Jim Lee is out the door, though? Is Jim Lee out the door?
Not immediately.
No.
I think that's probably a change that has to happen eventually.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure his duties will be reduced, like with what he's in charge of. But yeah, probably promotion by failure. So yeah, put in a corner.
If he is out the door, he'll get a golden parachute. He's an executive and whatnot. So
can I ask y'all this? Jim Lee. Yes, he's a magnificent artist, probably the best artist of all time. But is he a good businessman?
Well, we do have the DC aficionado in the house. Josh, what do you think about that one?
I think it's one of the, and look, I always come to this. If you ever talk to Jim Lee one-on-one or hear him talk directly, you would get the idea that, yes, he's a good businessman. It's like he understands what, once he gets in the role and starts making decisions, it's like it's a completely different person. Like nothing adds up. I don't know. Maybe he's just one of those people that knows how to speak to the talking. Maybe he's like a comic book politician. He knows how to speak to the talking points, but can't actually deliver.
As a guy that has been a big fan of WildStorm, that obviously was Jim's company before it was acquired by DC in '99.
Yes, sir.
He is a very competent businessman. He's actually very, very good, because when all the other companies were hitting bankruptcy, a lot of the other small publishers were literally just going out of business, getting bought up, getting liquidated. He managed to not only steer WildStorm through it, but he also managed to make them desirable enough to be acquired by, and like he sought buyers, and he had multiple offers on the table before he sold out to DC. So,
well, I think they were also trying to buy him. You know what I mean?
They were, but actually the main reason why WildStorm was why anybody was interested in buying WildStorm is their digital coloring technology. They had something that nobody else did at the time. The only other thing that you had out there that was even comparable was it was a company called Liquid that was,
I remember Liquid was dope.
Yeah, they did. They were one of the first ones doing computer coloring, but WildStorm had it in house, and that was something that nobody else had, and it was all proprietary because they built it themselves.
Doc, I would even say this to this day, not to me, just maybe to other people. No one colors like Liquid to this day, in my opinion.
I would agree because
they before their time, man.
They were, but so was WildStorm's in-house coloring back in because if you look at a lot of that stuff, not only that, but they were also the ones that really were able to break into doing the video game and all the licensing, all the stuff that IDW is basically been trying to do. That was all the guys that left WildStorm, started IDW, and were trying to do the same things at IDW, except for they didn't have the leadership of Jim anymore to steer them away from bad licenses.
Yeah.
I mean, because look, I mean, there was what was it, Warhammer? There was that one Warhammer comic that easily blew out every other book in the what was it, late 2000s, or I mean early 2000s. Never ended up as as having a record because the comic industry literally ignored it, but it sold like over 1 million copies. And
yes, we do have a few super chats we're going to get to real quick. We got a joke from Kyle Lyle, Doc. I wonder if you can get this one. What do Tom King, Vita Ayala, and Mags have in common with Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs? It puts the lotion in the basket.
I was going to say something that's probably get you demonetized, but okay.
Let's not do that.
Do they lure young women in the back of vans? I don't know.
I don't think so. Is there an answer?
They've all put their editors into a bucket or down into a well and forced them to continue giving them work.
I don't know. I don't see the punchline. I'm sure Cal Wild will get to us. I bet it's a good one.
Which one is the one that always wear bikinis? Is that Vita?
No,
that's not
Leah.
Vita. That's the Marvel girl. I'm thinking about the Marvel woman. The Marvel woman that you've been doing videos about. That chick is hilarious, man. If all fails, put on a bikini.
I think he's just talking about
Leah Williams. He's talking about Leah Williams.
He's talking about Leah Williams. Yeah.
she got a big something, but
hey, she's got a comic book writing career. She says interesting things. We've got another super chat from King KDI. Good afternoon, Wes and the panel on the Doc is Right show.
God damn, yeah.
Very interesting. Quick question for Sub. Can people still get Ninja Blast digital? Fatal take on Halo.
Heck yeah, people can still get Ninja Blast digital. If it's not on Indiegogo, I got to do that today. I can't believe I accidentally took the Ninja Blast digital. I want to say this, though. I am very proud of myself, even though I made a lot of mistakes and Wes saved me at some point. Ninja Blast is completely fulfilled, and I'm working on Ninja Blast 2, and it's going to be bigger and better. Trust me.
Man, I hope you do it better this time. I had to see you get creamed in social media, man. That dude was busting your nuts.
I'm not going to even talk about that idiot, sir.
You got you. He was not happy with you.
I was the only person. Everybody else was pleased with Ninja Blast. Thank you guys so much for the support, and it's coming again later this year, sometime towards the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year. Thank y'all so much.
We've got Darth Bobcat, Fatal J Mukbang incoming.
What is a mukbang?
It's like those channels where they eat everything for money, right?
Oh, I thought about doing eating stream.
There was that skinny dude that's like 400 pounds now.
Doc, I thought about doing an eating stream without saying anything for a whole 2 hours, just eating food and smiling.
Yeah,
Like-
the guy would take suggestions and he'd be like, "Oh, you want me to eat fried chicken?" And,
I'm not even taking
ice cream?
suggestions. I just want people to
You're just
see
gonna
me
eat?
savor every bite. And like, I just want to have a smile on my face and just be so happy
I think
that I get to
We're gonna
eat
get a
on the street.
preview of your burritos here soon, right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
That's what everybody was looking forward to. Lane Kramer. So for 2023 DC, what is 2 creators you would like to see come together on a monthly title? And what character? Cannot be current one already scheduled.
Oh,
All
that's a
right,
good
Josh,
question.
you're the DC guy. What are you looking at there?
Hold on, I've got to think this through.
Oh, you're
Gotta
too
think this through.
thoughtful. You can't.
I
just
am.
go. Well, my favorite writer is Robert Venditti, so we'll throw him in there. And let's say I want to see Robert Venditti and Dexter Soy, who is a really criminally underrated artist. I want to see him do Flash. I think they would be awesome on Flash. No, all right. Maybe
I
missed
want to
out
see
on
the
that one.
dude that did Future State, the Batman Future State, Dan Mora.
He's
That's his
doing
name.
world's finest.
The
Yeah.
artist. Yes.
I want to see him, and you can just pick any writer with him because that dude is a uprising star when it comes to doing
He's doing
art.
world's
I want
finest.
to, yeah, I want to see more of him. I need to see more of him.
I
David
got
Anders
mine.
wants to know if you want to submit Ninja Blast for review to Comical Opinions.
Yes, sir. Anytime, any day.
You
You need
should
to reach
Get him
out
into
to
them.
him.
Yeah.
Let's
We
make it
just
happen.
reviewed Drew's comics, both of them.
Don't be like Jimmy though. Jimmy did a video and said Ninja Blast absolutely sucks, but here's some good things about it. Like, what the freak, sir?
That's how you talk to
Jimmy.
people that need to get better. You tell them what they did wrong, and then you back
Well,
it up.
Jimmy's
with something
supposed to be
nice.
my Snyderverse brethren. He's supposed to be my brother.
He's putting you in your place. You needed it.
Jimmy, you betrayed me, sir.
All right, Doc. What's your team up? What's your book?
Very, very simple. Joe Casey, Mark Silvestri, Uncanny X-Men.
That's not a DC book.
Yeah, that's not DC.
Oh, okay.
And Mark
Oh,
Silvestri
you know
is
what?
top cow.
No,
Yeah.
you know what? No, okay. Well,
It's a dream lineup.
are we actually getting the Mark Silvestri Batman book at any point?
Oh, that's coming.
Oh yeah.
No, we haven't seen a page
No.
yet.
I know, but okay, fine. I'll still go with Casey and Silvestri, but on Batman. No, you know what? I want him to do
Teen
Superman.
Titans.
Superman.
Mark
There we go.
Silvestri is doing a Batman comic.
Yeah, he's been.
No, he's
It's
doing
supposedly they announced
Take-
it like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
my money now. Take
But
my
wasn't-
money.
Wasn't the book he was doing, wasn't it like a Batman Joker team up? Isn't that right?
It was a Batman Joker story. I don't remember
Yeah.
whether it was a team up.
I feel like it was a team up because I remember they announced it at Comic-Con and he was sitting up there with Jim Lee and was it Azzarello? And
Yeah.
he was like, this has never been done before. Meanwhile, like literally a month prior, they wrapped up Batman Europa where Batman and Joker teamed up and Jim Lee and Azzarello wrote and drew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You can't really trust Mark Silvestri word because he been saying he gonna bring back the Darkness for about 2 or 3 years too. The Darkness was a dope comic book. Anybody read The Darkness?
All right, Fatal J. That's another conversation. We got to get
Oh,
to this
sorry.
super chat here.
Sorry.
All right,
Um,
you're the DC aficionado, Josh. Where are you going?
I would like to see like Jeff Lemire and Greg Smallwood do something like either Wonder Woman and really build out that mythos, or go ahead and take Justice League and really just do this banger team book.
Very nice. What about you, Drew? What's your dream pairing for 2023 at DC?
Chuck Dixon, Stephen Platt, Hawkman.
Oh,
That would be pretty good. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Lake Kramer. We got Ideator here. Jim lost me when he chose to be a follower instead of running his own IP. Image was and is a force to be reckoned with. You don't just give it all up. Did he have a choice, Doc? Sorry, Jermaine. Doc, are you there?
Oh, we
I
got
thought I
my
heard him
brother
say-
up in here.
I think he's got it. How you
I
doing,
didn't know he was
Jermaine?
supposed to be here.
I like the
I'm
beard.
doing all right. Thank you very much.
Oh,
By
quick
the
shout
way,
out to
T-Mobile
one of my
looks
friends.
like
One of my
It's
friends
like
in the
T-Mobile
chat. Quick
looks like
shout
you
out,
some stuff.
Prime. What up, Prime? Sorry.
You're talking over the guest.
I'm sorry. I saw one of my friends in the chat.
That's all
Prime.
right.
What up?
Fatal J is like, yo, what up? My brother's here. How are you doing? And then, like, the 3 times Jermaine tries to answer, he's like, yo, I'm going to interrupt you, motherfucker.
stepping on that line over there.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna
sorry.
say that Javane's all right was like very clear. Like I'm about to break shit because he's had technology issues.
He
Like
restarted his stuff before he came on. It's like restarts?
No,
right
I did not restart it. T-Mobile restarted it for me 3 hours after the fact.
That's insane.
Go ahead, continue.
How you doing, Javane? You doing all right in Chicago?
I'm doing okay. I'm definitely thinking about Mint Mobile right now, but I'm doing okay.
Fatal J, you're a big fan of Image Comics. Do you think Jim should have stuck around and continue to be there? Or should he? Do you think he made the right choice moving over to DC with his wild
from a fan side? Yes, I wanted Jim Lee to stay and do more books and more crossovers in the Image universe. But from a business standpoint, I think, and now I could be wrong. I think Image is kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out when it comes to financial. I'm not trying to get all business wise, but I think Jim Lee made the smart move because what's the guy that made Walking Dead? What's his name?
Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman low key saved Image Comics, in my opinion.
Ooh.
Y'all let me know if I'm wrong.
Not low key,
Yeah,
very high key, very clearly.
That's what I'm saying. So I think Jim Lee made the right move business wise.
Yeah, plus the salary he gets as being an executive there, I guarantee you eclipses anything he would be able to make an Image. So he probably made the right move for himself and his family in the end. Whether it was the right move for comics, that could be debated. We got Callum Lyle here. What does it say when a comic book company hires prostitutes to write comics and goes on drunken rants on Twitter screaming 24/7?
Be nice.
Well, stop hiring hookers. You hire hookers for one thing, and it's not to write comic books.
Jeez, it's not a hooker; it's a sex worker.
Y'all talking about the Marvel girl?
Come on.
Please, kindly.
Doc, the correct term is provider of horizontal refreshment. All right.
These guys, they're so unrefined, Javane. How do we even hang out with these guys?
Oh Lord, it's like, look, even much like Marco Corleone, she has the right to go legit. Okay, it's like, come on, she can't do it all I like.
These guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The real world isn't fucking Pretty Woman, and she ain't Julia Roberts.
Oh.
Jim Lee took over an already sinking ship, but did little beyond managing its decline.
Yep.
It certainly hasn't gotten better since it's been the Jim Lee show here, Josh. It feels like it's gotten worse since Dan Didio left.
Yeah, it definitely is. I wish I could be a fly on the wall that was in DC's offices for the past couple of years, because I think there's a number of things that played into this. Because what's interesting, if you look back to when Dan was running the company and it was Jim kind of there as his right-hand man, there were a lot of decisions that were made or a lot of things that Jim would fight for that were definitely the right thing to fight for. And I think that gave people hope. And then now, I don't know if it's because he was a creator or because he is an artist, but he's just like, there is no confines. There is no like structure. And that's led to, I mean, look, DC at the moment's like when you go to a monkey farm, they give you ponchos for a reason, because it's just a bunch of dumbasses throwing shit. Like, that's what DC is right now.
Right.
I kind of want a DC poncho.
I got puked on by a toucan when I was in, where was I at?
What?
Singapore.
Oh, yeah?
Really? Yes.
A
I went to an aviary and a bird puked on me. It was disgusting.
A friend of mine had a macaw that took my hat off my head. That's about as far as I go.
That's nice. It's nothing like getting puked on.
I have been at a monkey farm and I have had monkeys throw shit at me, so that was a personal experience. Yeah.
You've also been on the Aficionados, so you're used to it.
Oh yeah, of course. But I can relate. The two right now are very similar. DC Comics and Monkey Farm, very similar.
Callum Lyle says, I'm starting to think YA graphic novels are soft propaganda to groom kids because I'm still disturbed by Nubia the Real One. What do you think, Fatal J? Or I'm sorry, Gervain, you've got a couple of girls that read YA graphic novels. Does it feel like you have to go in there and read the material before you let them get their hands on it?
Oh, absolutely. I got to do it with everything. It's like, I can't even watch the DC, the Arrowverse TV shows without going at least 4 or 5 episodes ahead and just making sure It's like, look, my kids, I found out from my girls, they're having discussions about stuff that I was like, what, huh? But it's like, you want them to have those discussions. You're not going to keep them from being exposed to that stuff, but you do want to be involved in the discussion and the conversation to at least guide where they're going. And to say it's soft propaganda to groom kids, I don't have a lot of those tweets or quotes in front of me right now, but that's definitely the agenda of some. There's no getting around that. So it's like, no, you're not imagining things. Keep your tinfoil hat on, all that good stuff. It's going on. And they ain't shy about it.
My boys are like 6, and one of the younger one's about to be 3, and obviously have a newborn. Well, not really a newborn, that'd be one, but like even the stuff that's made for them, I've learned that you can't just put it on. You actually have to go and watch all of it, because there's so much weird stuff happening in the backgrounds, and they're kind of putting in there. And you're like, this is a show designed for toddlers. Like, why is this in this show? And it's not just Disney, it's Netflix, it's everything. It's really strange.
It's like we were watching the Proud Family revival, and I was just like, well, I don't know what happened here. Apparently, as a cis black male, there's nothing here for me. Not a dang thing in that show at all. And I'm talking about it's just like what did the wife say to the father of the family? Those who make spare change have to change the diapers or something like that. I was like, I'm out. I'm like, I'll do this. I would go do something else. Oh, it's totally, that's what it is. And the thing is like much like this. I don't know if this is coming up down the line, but the thing like with Larsen, it's like I want to know this mystery of like, who are they selling this to? Who is buying this stuff? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
I don't think a lot of people are buying it. They're buying Dogman, but guess what's in Dogman? A dog having adventures.
It's
pretty easy. The 6-year-old loved it. We've also got Kenneth Dowling in the house. Hello, guys. Wishing everyone a happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too, sir. Hope everyone is enjoying the holiday weekend. To Lade Kramer, I'm not a big DC guy, but if I had to choose, I'd want Dan Jurgens, Jim Lee on Superman for 12 issues. And Wes, I got your message. Put me in, coach. All right. Sounds terrific. Sounds like Kenneth is going to join us next week.
I want to say this, though. Our dream project, sometimes they shouldn't happen, because one of my dream projects was Frank Miller and Jim Lee being together and doing
All-Star Batman and Robin, huh?
So sometimes your dream don't work.
Nightmares.
Absolutely. But be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
You might just get it.
How did them two make the worst comic book known to man? That's crazy, man.
Is All-Star Batman and Robin the worst comic ever, Josh?
No,
it's top 10, though, bro.
No, not even top 10. No.
It's top 10, man.
No.
The art was beautiful, but the story, come on, man.
There are far worse comics from Marvel in the last year alone. Hell, in the last month alone.
Yeah, I give you that.
That's what I was about to say. If you want to read some bad comics, go pick up something that's been published in the past year.
I just read.
But it was just 12 issues of Batman when to punch Robin in the face.
That's what it was weird. Then there was some suspect stuff too between him and Robin too in that comic book that I don't want to speak on.
Making him eat rats and stuff.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
it builds character. It builds character. Come on.
Yeah, right.
That's why we just call that All-Star Crazy Steve. Just some guy named Crazy Steve that was just wearing a Batman costume the whole time.
I bet Neil Adams liked it. You know what I mean, Doc? Neil Adams was like, this is a good story.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, word.
It's not much less shitty than his fucking Deadman comic.
Yeah, he's like, they stole my bitch.
Well, Batman versus Ra's al Ghul, I still haven't recovered from that one. I was like, oh,
Jesus Lord. Cal Weil says, I want Ed Bennis's artwork and style to return.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Well, you're not really into the Tumblr style?
No, man, it's weird how the people that I fell in love with their art, why are they changing for this era? It's weird. They're making them slender and look ugly. I want the big bulky Ed Bennis artwork, man.
That's toxic, Fail J. That's too toxic.
Yeah. Okay, you're right about that.
Jay, look, they look at the views on free web comics and Tumblr comics and think that they could somehow convert people that don't spend money into people that spend money and spend money on things that they don't already buy just by making it look like the things that they read for free. That's all it is. It's fucking stupidity.
Yeah.
Well, no doubt about that. We got Dill Lindsay in the house. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I would put on shows from the 90s for our kids. Yeah.
Nice.
You know what's weird, Gervain, is that Married with Children is more wholesome than like the most wholesome show on television today.
I used to say that about Malcolm in the Middle. I remember all those years I was watching Married with Children, and everybody was so upset about Married with Children. Oh my God, this and that. And you literally had a TV show that came on right at that, where the opening sequence every week was a shot of the mom shaving the dad's pubes while he's reading the newspaper.
No, she was shaving his back.
No, that was no. I'm gonna watch it again. I remember it being.
She was because that was
at the dinner table.
No, dude, that was from the first episode. She's shaving his back. You can see her standing behind his back. No, he was just he was just shirtless.
All right, then I can see if that's the case. I'm gonna watch it again though, just to be sure. But
watch the pilot. Just watch the pilot.
I'm just saying that Al Bundy is a better male role model than almost any father that you'll see on television today. He seems like a better, more rounded father that you'd want for yourself.
Kelly Bundy is less trampy than most women on television these days. Hey, that's sad.
It's like supposed to be a parody family. Obviously, the Simpsons took it to another level, but. Yeah, it sucks, man. You're never gonna get anything like the Huxtables again. My goodness, we got Lane Kramer. For me, it's
every time somebody mentions the Cosby, that thought goes across everybody's mind, and they get real quiet. You notice that?
Bill Cosby joke here.
He was freed. Whatever. For me, it's G. Will Wilson and Pepe Larraz on a Zatanna comic. I always say for Wilson, I loved her dreaming waking hours. She can do magic stories well. Very nice. Pepe Larraz is absolutely a fantastic artist. He shouldn't be wasted on Marvel, I'll tell you that. And all their lame characters. He should be at DC Comics where all the best characters with the best designs are, right, Fatal J?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, if you had just a good director for the comic books, for the movies, DC will win, and you can take over because everything from Marvel right now, these Disney Plus shows suck. I don't have the strength to watch Moon Knight. I don't have the strength to watch none of this stuff because it ends the same. It's lame. It's lame. DC, get organized and take over. It's your time.
Man, you should watch Titans from DC and see if it's better than
Titans can get boring though.
It's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
you know what's a dope show that I know you guys not watching and don't care to watch, but I love watching it? Watch Young Justice. The animated show. That show.
Young Justice is good.
Oh, and I don't watch cartoons. That's for kids.
No, this one is getting very adult. It's getting adult.
I'm just kidding. My good friend Aaron Sparrow wrote an episode for season 4. We got Young Justice.
That first season is near perfect. I'll say that. That first season is incredible.
Yeah, and it's got the better version of Jackson Hyde.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
We got Cal Lyle. Why is it hard for Jim Lee to fire people? Well, some people just don't like firing people. I don't know.
Jim Lee's a nice guy. I can't see him firing people.
The other problem. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go.
Go.
I was gonna say the other problem is even if he fires them, there's nobody talented to fucking hire anymore at the pay that they're paying. Anybody that's any good isn't gonna work there for that price.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, that's completely spot on correct. But I think part of the reason they're not firing people too is, half the stuff we complain about and bitch about isn't even the writer, it's the editors. And then, like if they go fire the writer after that, the writer's going to be like, well, fuck this. This was this person. This was this person. They chose this. They chose that. Here's something I can write. So I think that's part of it as well.
Chuck Gibson, who I said worked at WildStorm, he says, Jim Lee has someone fire you. Trust me. He might know some know that from firsthand experience. I'm just going to take that one out of there. We've also got Mr. DC Comics. How Warner Discovery Brothers, I think it's Warner Brothers Discovery, treat Superman in the future as
Discovery Brothers.
Warner Discovery Brothers treat Superman in the future as all I'm paying attention to. If they are serious about changing DC, Superman is the core of DC. Absolutely. If you don't have a fully functioning a wonderful Superman character, you don't have a DCEU or a shared comic universe or an animated universe. Obviously, the best example being the Snyderverse, where they try to introduce a Superman, they introduced Hyperion. It never worked, and the entire thing just fell apart.
Why does this always get mentioned when I'm here?
I know. This is
Hold
fighting
on,
words.
hold the fuck on. Superman absolutely is not the core of DC. You know how you know that? Because it's named after Detective Comics and not Action Comics. If
That's
Superman was the
because
core,
he's not the core.
if Superman
he's
was
very
the core, it would be
important.
AC Comics.
You don't even read DC very much. If you
I
don't have the Superman character.
I see what Doc kind of saying. If you look at sales wise, Batman is the man. But if you want to look
Sales
at
wise, Superman has sold 100 million more comic books than Batman.
Since
the characters were created.
I'm not disputing that. Okay. But
those
I'm
were
just
different
saying,
times. Obviously, Batman.
when you look at Mickey Mouse is Disney, Superman is definitely DC. I see it.
What do you think, Josh? Do we need a Superman? You're a Batman fan. Should we just get rid of the old guy? He's not relevant in today's society.
No, I think they're spot on. And you know, I kind of look at it, even if you look at Marvel, even if you don't say Captain America is the man for them, I think as far as their movies go, I feel like if you didn't get Captain America right, you weren't going to have a successful like film series. And they got Captain America right. And I think you kind of need that with DC. You need Superman because he's that same voice. Like he's that same like wholesome, like quote unquote 1940s, 1950s voice. That's like, hey, this is what we should stand for, and he kind of leads the pack in that way. I think they're going to prioritize Superman. It seems like they're even thinking that way because I think they subtly made comments about that directly. They made comments about how some of the television things they're doing is working and many are not. And I think the one thing that's working right now is Superman and Lois. They mentioned that they were going to step away from experimental things, and I can't help but think that they're looking over at Michael B. Jordan and Ta-Nehisi Coates. Which you might still get that, and I know there's an audience that wants to see that. But
those are two different projects.
No, yeah. Oh, they are two different projects.
No,
yeah, but Josh, they said
they are, Doc. They are different projects. The Ta-Nehisi Coates, J.J. Abrams was going to be the Elseworlds Black Superman for the movies, and then the Michael B. Jordan thing is going to be for HBO Max. It's two different projects.
But the Black Superman is not Clark Kent, though, right?
No, it's Calvin
Ellis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But
anyway, as long as they don't go there and do Clark Kent, they all right.
I do think you could still get something like that, but it will be further down the line. And if you do, it's going to be like an Earth 2 type story. But I do think that they're going to come in and try to find. They've already said they want to try to find a Feige. They want to find an architect, and they're going to try to tell it correctly. I do think they need to give it like a few years. You're going to have to start clean. So just take a break, pause for like 2 to 3 years just so you can plan and then start making your movies again.
Josh, I definitely agree.
They need to wait.
Sorry, Doc. I was just gonna say this real quick. When it comes to organization, instead of just putting out these ideas, you're going to win. I think this is the perfect era right here because Marvel have already blew their load with all these great movies, and now we get these mediocre shows and movies, and we only get like one super dope Marvel movie once a year instead of multiple movies. I think it's time for DC to take over.
It's not. It's time for DC to let the last 10 years of DC's failures wash out of people's mouth by being fucking silent for about 5 years. I mean, goddamn silent. Not a sequel to something else. Not another season of fucking Peacemaker. Not another Batman movie. Not another anything. They have to literally shut down their production division for 5 years to let the taste of the shit that they've fed us for the last decade wash out of everybody's mouth. Because right now, there's like 3 good things that DC has done out of the last decade. That people overall, yeah, I know it's impossible, but that's what they need to do. Otherwise, they're going to be fighting an uphill battle that they can't fight. They're going to lose.
I disagree. I think you're definitely going to see more Peacemaker because it did so well for them. You're going to see more of that. They're going to finish out what they're doing with the Batman, and they're probably going to try to find a way to wrap up what they've done with Wonder Woman and what they're doing with Aquaman.
And if they if they do, you will not have the success that they want.
No. What I'm saying is so what I was saying earlier is don't try to start something immediately with this new whatever they're trying to do, but take your time to develop a world and then start filming. If they take that approach, that gives them time to do these final 2 Batman films plus the TV series that will be connected. You can do another Wonder Woman film, you can do another Aquaman film, and you can wrap up those stories with those actors as those characters, make it feel complete. And if it feels complete and feels like it's paid off, people will move on.
Josh, you got a point. I remember the director of Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot, they said Wonder Woman 3 is going to be the finale. Now, what do you think about Aquaman with this Amber Heard controversy? Do you think they're going to wrap that up if this is not successful? Because myself, I don't think Aquaman 2 is going to do $1 billion like it did last time.
I don't think it's going to be nearly as successful. No. And then, I mean, I have my thoughts on Amber Heard, but they should have recast her. I think the only reason they didn't was they were trying to avoid more quote unquote drama with recasting their people or their actors. And they've unfortunately just kept it going. Yeah. And then you have Ezra Miller that's acting like a freaking nutcase. So
we do have a few more super chats we need to get to. We got Cal Mile who asks, what about Ethan and Be Honest? I'm assuming he's talking about Ethan Van Sciver. And the question before this, he was talking about why can't Jim Lee fire people? As far as I know, Ethan asked out of DC Comics early, didn't he?
Yeah,
was my understanding.
When we interviewed him, that's what he said. Yeah, he wanted to get out sooner.
Yeah, he had a few issues left on his exclusivity deal, as far as I recall. He asked to be released early. They said yes. Nobody fired, and nobody even really quit. They just early termination of the same contract, mutually agreed upon.
Mutual. So I think that's what happened, as far as I understand.
Yeah, that's what he told us. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we've heard. I mean, other than like your random, DC creators that have absolutely no, real in, or some editor that just wants to sound like he's Johnny Big Balls. That I got rid of that evil Ethan. Anybody that was actually involved in the decision nobody's really disagreed with Ethan's portrayal of it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, no one has.
Yeah. So that's, as far as I know, that's what happened. We got Wolfstein 3D. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Jay, if DC only needs a good director to win and lost the MCU, what does that say about Snyder's skills?
Look, let me tell y'all something.
He's got a good point here.
Let me tell y'all something, because I knew it was coming. Look, this is how I look at the whole scheme of things. And I'm open-minded. Yes, I'm a part of the Snyder cult, but I will say this. Zack Snyder is an excellent director.
No.
He's not. I know, Josh. Let me finish. He's an excellent director. He's not an excellent writer. Yes, I said it. He's not an excellent writer. I feel like I would want to see Zack Snyder direct a future DC movie. But in the whole scheme of thing, I would want somebody totally different to Kevin Feige, the MCU. I mean the DCEU. Now, when it comes to James Gunn, everybody talking about James Gunn should be the one. No, the freak, he's not. I don't want him to do it.
Why?
I dislike James Gunn. All the kid and stupid jokes he do. I don't like James Gunn. James Gunn is not the one. I feel like, hold on, Doc, real quick, and then I'm done. I promise you. I would want somebody.
No, I have
like
a question for you.
Okay, real quick. I would want somebody like the Russo brothers to be over it. What do you guys think about that? The Russo brothers.
What
they won't. They won't do it.
No, that's no, and plus that's the problem in the first place. Stop sniffing DC's farts. So I mean, Marvel's farts already. Come up with something new.
But I'm
it's
just
like
saying,
that's all they've been doing. Snyder should have retired on top. I got out early after 300.
You know what?
It's like, no, the problem is, to Josh's point, just wrap up whatever you have. To Doc's point, just go silent. And then the third thing is just come up with a vision. Come up with something that is just yours, not aping Marvel success. Even with Marvel, it sounds like they kind of half stumbled onto what they came up when they started doing the whole interconnected universe. But the thing is, they were not only were they first, but they did it well. So you're not going to beat them at that game.
My
DC
my
is not going to
question
beat them at that.
my question for everybody that keeps talking about DC with their films is, why in the fuck do you people keep asking for directors to run your universe? Kevin Feige hasn't directed shit.
That's true. That's true. That's
Start
I'm
looking
not
for a
asking for a
fucking
director to run the
producer.
universe. I'm just
not talking
asking
about
for
you.
Zack Snyder not to be a part of it.
Well, yeah,
Unless
I'm
you're
fine
doing
with
an
that.
action scene, and then he can come in and do an action scene for you. You're like,
So
hey,
you
we
don't
got
want
this
him to
big
do
action
no
scene.
movies.
My
Let's
point
hire
is,
Zack Snyder to do the action scene and then get him off the set.
No, hire him as a DP. Hire him as a senior cinematographer.
yes, he's a DP. That's it. But everybody keeps suggesting these fucking writers or directors. Hire a goddamn producer to produce your shit.
Well, nobody knows who producers are, Doc.
That's true.
Stop
That's true, and that's why
let's
everybody's
stop having
saying
the conversation about it.
You actually got a point on that.
It's
That's
in
why
the fucking
everybody's saying
news. That's what the people are talking about. What do you want me to do? Jeez, my goodness, Doc. I'm about to get called a Karen here. Oh, well, I can't believe you did this to me, brother. I think they should still world build in the Snyderverse. Don't be a Karen, Wes, but do make a lighter tone and plan, because I want to see that dark side. So you can call me a Karen all you want, and you did hurt my feelings, but that's not going to change my point of view. Zack Snyder's the worst thing that ever happened to DC Comics anything.
Well, let me ask y'all this, okay? Like Javane said, don't take the Marvel blueprint. So where can they go? Does it still need to be a shared, connected universe like the MCU?
I don't think it has to be. I mean, the one thing about Wonder Woman, when we went to see it, like, I didn't think it ended well. But I just thought it had a sense of humor and it had its own voice. Even with the Man of Steel movies, you could disagree whether you thought it was Superman or not, but at least it had a voice and you could tell what he was trying to do. Then all of a sudden, Justice League came along, and like I said, and I'm not going to lay that on Snyder. I mean, it was Joss Whedon, but it was like that thing was so contrived. It was like you're sitting there watching it. It's like, yo, dude, with all due respect. I just saw this in Lord of the Rings, and I'm not sure why I'm watching this again. Just because you take in Lord of the Rings, open it, and slapping a DC skin on top of it, doesn't make this good cinema. And it's just like, it was the mismatch it was. And why did Justice League happen? I'm not going to blame Snyder, Whedon, the creators, and all that. I'm going to blame, like Doc says, to producers, the people who were in charge, because there was no reason for Justice League to happen. None.
It's Kathleen Kennedy's fault. I'm with you, man.
Well, there you go. Then
we can blame Kathleen Kennedy for everything.
Yeah, but they need someone with a vision, because I know Bendis is the hated lamb now, but unless they lied to me in Wizard or wherever I read it at, when they sat down and had an inspired moment, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have Samuel L. Jackson come at the end of the movie and be Nick Fury like in the comics, and then it just like roll from there? Sometimes the muse just hits in a certain place and you just run with it. But the thing is that the difference is Marvel was building pieces here and there, and then also the picture came together, and people knew how to run with it and make it better, because all them MCU movies weren't great, by the way, so let's just not forget that. So, but the simple fact with DC was, you look at DC and it was, I don't care what anybody says, and the public consciousness also ran. Public consciousness, ambulance, I don't know if it's appropriate, ambulance chasing. They were just chasing Marvel's success as opposed to establishing their own, and that's the brand of the DCEU.
I agree.
Yeah.
So what you saying
Hold
is,
on, Fatal King. Hold on, Fatal King.
Sorry.
This is not going to become the Snyderverse 2-hour special. We got to.
No, we're talking about DC. Like,
seriously, fuck Scott Snyder. It's over. We're done.
Who's been spat? God damn it, Doc! I just put my foot down. Who's been smashed more creatively, Clark or Tony? Drew, who do you think's been smashed more, Clark Kent or Tony Stark Iron Man?
Tony Stark Iron Man over a greater, longer period of time. We're going back like 10 years. For the last 10, 12 years, he's been, creatively kicked in the nuts.
He's a villain.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, I'd say closer to 15 years, because starting at Civil War.
I haven't enjoyed an Iron Man comic. I haven't enjoyed a comic book, Iron Man comic book, since Will's Pistachio. That's the last time I enjoyed.
And we had DC Rebirth. We had a good Superman series. We had a good action comic series. So we've had good Superman recently. We've got Bradford Hogue. Oh my goodness. They should have used Superman to unify the entire legacy from the present to the Legion. Is that the way you would have taken it, Josh? You are a screenwriter. You are the DC aficionado. What do you think about that?
I'm I'm look. I think at the end of the day, you just have to have a plan. Yeah,
Will Pistachio.
I don't know if I would have gone that far.
That's the
But
last
yeah,
time, man.
look, what I will say, and I think this is kind of what we're talking about earlier, is if you're gonna have a if you're gonna have a character that's gonna unify people and bring people together, it has to be Superman. And part of the reason this
Pistachio nuts.
Yeah, that's right. Part of the reason this last film series didn't work is because there was nothing about Superman that was unifying. So take it or leave it.
We got another question for Josh here. This is from George Dimitropoulos. Hey, Josh, how would you write a Tim Drake series?
First and foremost, I would go back to what was defining Tim Drake before the New 52. He was very much a black and white, like numbers type of guy of like, here's the variables I'm presented with. Whichever path I take, which one of these leans more into the better good, even if it's the harder decision. And I would reapproach him that way and kind of make that his core. It's why Ra's al Ghul viewed him as the rightful heir to the Batman throne, even over Damian. And I would like rebuild him as that. Like each of the Robins should have their own distinct characteristics. And Tim is almost like a little algorithm in his mind that's constantly going. He's just thinking. And he's not afraid to make decisions that will piss his friends off if it is the right decision. And he will stand firm in that. That's what Tim Drake needs to be.
James Tynion did a great job, did a good story in Detective Comics, 5 years ago with him in his future version of Batman. It was solid, I thought.
Yeah, it's a shame too because Tynion wanted to use Tim more, and DC said no, and he fought for it, and DC still said no, and then he pretty much said, "Well, can I just use him for a bit?" And they said, "You have one arc."
Wow.
That's how it goes. And I do want to say, if you want to support the channel, you want to give us a thumbs up. I think we're at about 150 now, but we've had over 325 people watching the show for quite a while. So give us a thumbs up. Let everyone know we're having a good conversation here as we run through all these super chats and hear from the viewers. We got Darth Bobcat, Fatal J is on the show, and Snyderverse came up. Take a shot. Do not do that. First of all, if it's alcohol, you will die before the show's over. And even if it's like, I don't know, syrup, maple syrup, you will go to the hospital with sugar poisoning if you take a shot every time the Snyderverse comes up with Fatal J. That is dangerous. Take a shot of milk, see what happens. That's all I got to say. Bradford Hogue, ultimately, like Disney, Warner Brothers has to understand that these stories are more than just a commodity. These stories are a mythology. That's one of the big things that they don't seem to get, Javade. I understand it from the company's stake, but when you get to the creative part, you have to realize you're playing it with more than just a blank slate character. Yep. There's things established, and you have to honor them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like Denny O'Neil said, he says, basically comics, these heroes, whether people like it or not, this is our modern mythology. This is how we communicate values. This is how we share ideas with one another, is through the stories of these heroes. It's like you could do a Hercules TV show like the Kevin Sorbo one, and you can give it more like a satire bit, or like make it a little bit goofy, but it's still, people have to be able to tie into the familiar character and the stories, the tropes that they know of Hercules, for them to be able to enjoy a different take on it. But when you start to turn the characters to such a point up in them, and not realize that people are not only they're emotionally invested, but they know what this is. That's why they were shocked when they did the whole thing of killing Jason Todd the first time around. Everybody was like, "You're killing Robin." And for them, it was the Dick Grayson Robin they had all grown up with. They didn't care whether it was the Jason Todd, which Robin it was. It was the fact that Robin was being killed. So then to go back to the whole Tim Drake thing, that's why I think Tim Drake is a definitive Robin in a sense, because there's clearly a difference between him and the other Robins. And like I said, to me, the thing I love about Tim is that of all of the Robins, he's the only one who I think actually embraces and appreciates the mantle of being a Robin more so than the rest of them. So that's something that's definitely a part of his character. Yeah, but yeah, it's mythology.
Chillmonger says he never bought into modern mythology in comics until recently. Nice to know that you came around, my friend.
Shout out to Javade real quick for saying Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, and somebody in the chat said Xena Warrior Princess. They was cheesy, was the dopest shows ever.
The Robin Hood.
But Xena clearly left it behind after a certain point. There was no two ways about it. Yeah.
Well, you said Xena got better.
Oh, Xena definitely got better. Oh
It
no,
did.
Xena got
It
better.
did. It did.
Yeah, Hercules fell off about midway through. Yeah, no, Xena got
All right,
better.
we got another
Once they
super
did
chat.
the way episode, it was a wrap.
We got Cal Lyle. I predict at the end of Tom King's Superboy, he'll most likely hook up with his mom. That would be an odd
Maybe
take,
Tom
but-
Taylor's. Yeah.
No, I think he's talking about the Tom King one shot for Dark Crisis with Superman and Superboy.
I could see Tom Taylor doing that, not Tom King, honestly.
Oh, I can see Tom King doing that. Are you kidding me? All the
Absolutely.
Oedipus Rex crap that he's got in his books already.
I see Superboy trying to blow his brains out by the end of the issue with Tom King. But
Oh my goodness,
Bro,
you guys
why
are
did they
terrible.
lie?
We got
Super Sons was
Ideator.
amazing.
What?
That's not Tom King
Why
though.
are you screaming over me? What happened?
Oh, I'm sorry, my computer messed up, but I'm just saying Super Sons was dope.
That was
Super
Tom.
Sauce, why they
Peter J.
messing up
Tomasi
Superboy?
did that. Oh,
Oh,
that's been happening for 3 years. You need to watch my channel more, Fatal J. Damn it! I just had a video about that. Ideator
I know
says
you
we've
did.
got to rid pop culture of Puritans, agenda, censorship, and check boxes are ruining proven IP. Halo, Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Disney Plus shows have robbed us of gold because of it. It's true, Jermaine. That's why we need more people like you going out there and creating new IP. They don't have to go along with the agendas.
Yeah, like someone in the chat was saying that we're just stuck in the past, and I disagree with that. Look, I love stuff like Seven Secrets. I think that what's going on in the comic book industry now, there's a lot of creativity going on, and I think there's some other things that should be elevated. But I also think, to a certain level, you have to know your role and know your spot to evolve effectively. So nobody's saying that Batman should stay like what he was when he was under Bob Kane, or what he was on some level when he was Dick Sprang, or the 1966 TV show. And that. No, nobody's saying that. I mean, I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. Most people think that's creatively bankrupt. And I don't say, well, that Scooby-Doo. If I took the stance that, well, Scooby-Doo could only be the Where Are You version back from 1960, whatever, then we would have never got Mystery Incorporated, which I consider to be the best version of Scooby-Doo that's out there. And my kids wouldn't enjoy it because that's the other thing.
Aficionado?
Oh, I'm a
You're a
total
Scooby
Scooby-Doo aficionado.
Oh,
except for Riff Raff, that unfortunately for that poor Mexican kid, you come in and go out like that. Other than that, oh yeah, Radley Crown, baby, that's my man. Yeah. The whole Scooby universe, related or implied related. My daughters, they love Riverdale. The only disappointment with Riverdale was that they didn't do a Scooby-Doo crossover. They were demanding a Scooby-Doo crossover. I said, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I was young once.
We never even got we also, speaking of Hanna-Barbera, we never even got the Jetsons movie. How does that not a live action film?
Word. How does that?
Ridiculous. We got
Rosie
Sigma
with junk in
Comics.
the
We got HH with us here. He says, shout out to West of the panel from Indiana Comic Con. So if you're at Indiana Comic Con, definitely go check them out. Keep it tuned to Thinking Critical and support these comic book experts. Share the scoop I sent you today about Jim Shooter. So I was reading this where I was talking to Drew earlier, obviously, before we went live. But this is a pretty crazy story. So Sigma or HH from Sigma Comics sent me this. He says, I'm at Indiana Comic Con and Jim Shooter was being obstructed entry into the exhibit hall by 8 large security guards. I guess one of them was like a 280-pound woman, and not being allowed in. I stepped in between all of them and said, hey, this guy's a living legend and I can vouch for him. And I stared down the head security lady. I believe she's the one that was like a 280. She backed down and we walked right past him. And I'm actually minutes afterwards and he's having a nice talk about it. But he saved Jim Shooter. How much cooler is HH than all of us?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who Marvel Comics is missing too, Jim Shooter.
No, they're
Jim
missing HH. They need him
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Get him in there.
yeah,
Drew,
wait.
you're going to be at the Comic-Con, right?
Yep, I'll be there after we're done recording our next video, and I'll be there this afternoon. Yeah, stop by the Merc booth or the Comics Elite booth, and
Well,
yeah,
you're going to go shake HH's hand. He saved Jim Shooter.
I want to. Yeah, I want to give him a big hug for that too. That's
Right.
awesome.
A little pat on the ass.
Yeah.
Job well
Good
done.
game. Give him a good game. Yeah.
Also,
Absolutely.
for those of you that don't live anywhere near like the Midwest or anything, we have a lot of handsome women around here. Just throwing that out there.
Very nice.
Watch it, buddy. I'm in the Midwest. My wife is beautiful.
Hey, I'm in Texas. We have plenty of our own.
My goodness, you guys. We got definitely go visit HH and the guys from Sigma Comics at Indiana Comic Con, and definitely go visit the guys at Comics Elite and Drew, who's on the panel right now as well. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. We got Bradford Hogue. DC created the shared universe. What do you think the JSA was back in the 40s? Well, they created it with the Flash of Two Worlds. It's Gardner Fox.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's his world we're all living in at this point, right?
Yep. Right.
Go back and read that. I did a review on the channel on the retro. You definitely would check that one out. We got King KDI. Why does the DC animated universe come across better than the live action movies? Of course, except last Halloween animated. The reason is because in the DC animated universe, you got Paul Dini in charge, and in the film universe, you had Zack Snyder. You have a quality of directors and storytellers.
You have one guy that gives a fuck about comics, and another one that just wants to make pretty fucking pictures.
And you got, but the thing is, you got a team at DCAU too. There's a lot of guys on that team as well.
But you have a bunch of people that actually appreciate the source material, and another one that looks at it as a fucking suggestion. Sorry, that's what happens when you involve Hollywood.
But let's be this clear, because like Bruce Timm, he was not big on this idea of the Justice League series and the Justice League Unlimited, but he had other people on there. Dwayne McDuffie was a part of that team at one point. So to Doc's point, that's a totally different bench. It wasn't just you had Bruce Timm. You had a bench there, and it was deep. They had the first starting lineup, and they had a deep bench. So, yeah.
Hey, isn't Bruce Timm working on something currently, DC? Isn't he working on something?
Sure.
Yeah, they've got some an animated series that's supposed to be coming out for HBO Max.
Isn't it supposed to be about Pattinson's Batman?
I think it's standalone. Hold on, I'd have to double check.
But it is a Batman series, I think. I think it was something loosely based off of Pattinson's Batman. I hope not, though, because
they're doing a Gotham Central based on Robert Pattinson's Batman. I know that.
Yeah,
but,
okay, that's Bruce live action though.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but I think the animated series is that Bruce Timm is doing like more or less like a continuation of the animated series.
Oh, now that's
what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, it looks like because it's going to be called, I think, Batman Cape Crusader or something like that, and it's supposed to tap into the original principles of Batman the Animated Series.
Okay, so how about we get the animated series, DC Animated Universe people to do the DCE?
Yeah, we've been making that suggestion for a decade now, but first, they're not Hollywood people.
That's true.
So they're the cartoon people. They're not important, and they are not good enough to do live action film in the mind of Warner execs. That's the way that it's been looked at. It's the way it's been kind of hinted at every time it's suggested. The cartoon people don't know how to make real movies.
Which is a shame, because you think a guy like Paul Dini, going as far back as Fat Albert and Masters of the Universe, like, this guy has cred. Come on now.
Yeah, he's been in fucking Hollywood forever, except for he actually likes the source material. Look, I'm sorry, but as long as they keep thinking that the source material is a fucking suggestion and not the source material, you're going to keep having this failure with DC.
And the other thing is that, and Dini, to Josh's point about, I believe Josh's point about where he worked at, is that these guys had to work in broader marketplaces than a lot of these guys come up in now. So it was like someone made this point. I think it was Bob Odansky. He did an interview. He was talking about the benefits of working in the newsstand. It's like when you had to do newsstand market, you could tell on a very real way what ideas did or didn't work, because you had to put it out into a marketplace where you had to make your bones amongst 500,000 people or whatever. Now that these channels are so small and everything is so targeted, you're really only talking to vocal minorities all the time. So you don't have any sense of what's going to cut across the bandwidth of a larger mass market audience. So when you put these guys up on a bigger stage, it's like they're doing like their really cool indie version thing, which is nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't have a mass or a mainstream appeal. And so a lot of it ends up falling in his face. Like, people keep bringing up the Wonder Woman 84 thing. Like I said, with that, I don't know what happened. I don't know what executives got in charge. But it was clear, like, they just dropped the ball with the Maxwell Lord character. And that whole story arc. That's clearly what should have been the through line of that movie, not that cheetah stuff. The thing is, like, everybody's sitting there waiting for, like, the kid puts their hand on him and says, I wish for your something like, I wish for your greatness or something like that. And they never paid it off. Never paid it off. And you're just sitting there like, what am I watching right now? So I don't know how much of this is just like, as someone said, Patty Jenkins had creative control, it's like sometimes it has to be a team effort. You have to have people who are like, this is what I want to do, but you have to have other people who check them or check the things that don't work, encourage the things that do. But it just doesn't seem like that. Seems like it's a lost discipline, if you will, in terms of that. Like, like bring it in, man, or pump that up. It's like you just don't have people who have the expertise or the experience to do that anymore. I don't know how you write a line like that. Well,
you were correct. I mean, yeah, Patty was given more creative freedom with creative control with Wonder Woman 84, and Johns and Berg, they were gone, and the writers from the original were gone. She was in charge of screenwriting it and everything, and yeah, that's what happened.
Why it sucked. That's why it took. That's why she needed to catch an airplane. She needed to lasso from an airplane to move 3 miles across Washington D.C.
Doc said exactly what I was thinking. I swear.
Sorry, Wonder Woman 84 was a shit movie.
They had to sell toys. Okay, tell it toys. It's like I got you. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, it's just weird. It's like to an extent, like this guy's creators that I talk to, and sometimes what they tell me when I'm not on here with you guys is that sometimes we have to be mindful of the creators because they are working in environments where basically it's like, yeah, you didn't think I didn't think of that, but I had the answer to so and so and so and so, and then there's the guys over here who was sponsored, put the money in. We got to make sure this plane was in there. It's like sometimes there are constraints that it's just like it feels like it's jammed in there than it was. But I don't give Patty Jenkins a pass on that Maxwell Lord thing because I'm like, that's basic. Excuse me, but that's basic WWE. You set something up, you run the feud, and then you pay it off, baby. You got to pay it off. I'm sorry, it's got to be paid off at some point. So it's I don't know.
All right, sounds like that conversation went interesting places. Sorry, I had to step out for a little break, but we do have a few more super chats. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting the channel. We got Kenneth Dowling. Yes, Gervais, 100% agree. Stop trailing Marvel. I love Kevin Feige, but he is not the end-all be-all. Thinking Critical is. DC needs to develop its own vision.
I think people are misconstruing. I think people are misconstruing what they mean by like when they say they need a Kevin Feige. I don't think that's them saying that they want to follow Kevin Feige beat for beat what he did with the MCU. I think what they're saying is they need an overall voice, an overall direction. There's going to be a shared universe, and then within that, you have to actually build it. That is the key word: build it.
And identify the right talent to do so.
Yeah, they went from step 1 to step 14. They went from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman, and they cut out a shit ton in the middle. And they just hoped people were going to catch on, and it didn't work. Like, there was no investment there. There was no build. If you go back to the early MCU days, like, those movies weren't great. They were good, but they weren't great. But you got invested, and you started making connections from film to film, and you established a foundation so you could grow into something big. I think that's what they're referring to.
Yeah, we got Lowkey07 here. With the existence of the multiverse, I think they don't need to stop producing content while they brainstorm how to create a cohesive cinematic universe. Just make the new DCEU the prime universe. I think that might be what they're doing. They did push the Flash movie, which is going to be introducing the multiverse into the DCEU back a year. I imagine there's a good chance they're repackaging it now that they have new leadership. And it might just be a new reset where they reset everything. It can kind of start new where it makes sense.
Yeah,
at least that's kind of my take on it. What do you think about that, Fatal J? You're the Snyderverse DCEU guy.
In my opinion, I think they should do a what's that Transformer movie, Bumblebee? I think they should do a loose reboot. Okay, make people just can't decide whether is this a reboot or is this something totally new. Put those two concepts together like Bumblebee did. Because when you watch that movie, you can't really tell if this is a new movie in the series or if this is a tie-in to the old Transformer movies. I think it should go that way. Just starting out fresh and starting over again, I think that's going to be a big mistake.
Do you think if
what the problem with the Bumblebee movie is?
I mean, the Bumblebee movie sucks. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about the concept.
Fuck you, it's good.
The first 10 minutes is good, Doc.
The first 10 minutes are amazing. It overshadows
okay,
the
after that,
film.
It sucks. After that, it sucks.
It's good.
But I'm talking about the concept of a loose
I got
reboot.
you, Doc. We got you, Jay. What are you saying, Doc?
My point is anybody that thinks that the general movie going audience is going to be, oh yes, multiverse is fucking high. They want a connected universe. You can do the multiverse after you have a successful universe. Guess what? DC still doesn't have that.
All right, we got another question for you.
Doc,
Doc.
okay, this might be the Doc show because my daughters were talking about that Riverdale thing, and they said that basically their version of it jumped the shark when they went to an alternate universe. So this man might be onto something. But anyway,
Yes.
We got another Doc question here from Cal Lyle. Doc, Kevin Feige cast directors, Doc, and has white guilt. Also, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Doctor Strange 2 and Black Adam are going to be the last good superhero movies. Could you please trash Simu Lee?
He's nobody. He's still a nobody. He will always be a nobody. And the fact is, go back to your stupid fucking Canadian sitcom, dude. Nobody cares about you, and nobody takes you. We take him about as seriously as we do that fucking Indian comedian guy that was in Externals or Eternals, the one that got himself all jacked. Yeah, the one that got himself all jacked, and he was the one that was pissed off about a poo. So fuck that guy too. You and your other no talent nobodies can go back to wherever the fuck you came from, and remember that you're not movie stars.
Kalam, sorry if I ruined your name. I kind of agree with you though. I think Doctor Strange. Somebody laughing at me. I think Doctor Strange 2 and Black Adam is going to be the last good movies we enjoy. I think these movies in the future, they're not going to be that good, man.
Man, X-Men's going to be fantastic.
Man, no, it's not, and you know
X-Men's going to be a fucking disaster.
It's going to be horrible, especially if you don't have...
X-Men's the best thing that ever happened to you. They're going to have to reset the X-Men comic universe. Get them back to the school and stuff.
If Marvel do the Fantastic Four movie like they're supposed to do with Emily Blunt and old boy, then I would change my tune. But until then, Marvel sucks right now. Just like
that Spider-Man movie is pretty damn good, Fatal J. Wasn't that the last one?
Yeah, I give you that. What
the hell are you talking about?
It's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again, though.
You don't think Doctor Strange is going to be good?
Again? Huh?
You don't think Doctor Strange is going to be good?
I just said Doctor Strange 2 and Black Adam is going to be the last good superhero movies for a while.
You don't think Blade's going to be any good?
Man, no. Wesley Snipes ain't even in that.
With Mahershala Ali having some pull with that?
Heck no. And Mahershala Ali is a fantastic actor, but that's going to suck. He's a well, I'm not going to say that because I remember what you said. I remember what you said, so I'm going to respect. But it just doesn't make sense that a vampire has religion. That's all I'm going to say.
The only thing I will say, especially with the MCU right now, is we have to keep in mind everything we're getting is not what was originally planned. Like, it has changed drastically because they had a plan, and then you had COVID, which delayed everything. So once they were moving forward, they had to stop. And all the movie, like Spider-Man, what we got for Spider-Man was not the plan for Spider-Man 3. And if you remember, Spider-Man was originally supposed to come out after Doctor Strange. I think Eternals was supposed to come out after Doctor Strange.
Ooh, that was
had to start, and even the TV series. So they started having to change all these plots because of the new order they're coming in. And they purposely changed what they were doing so they could go ahead and start bringing in elements that they didn't have. So the Fox titles that they got, it gave them the opportunity to start, okay, like we have a break, we have a year. Let's just let's take a hit. Let's start working this in now instead of being like, okay, in 5 years we'll have this. So yeah, I think right now it's growing pains. I think you're going to see good films come back though.
All right, we got the doctor in the house. He's one of the panel. He's also giving a super chat. F. Scott Snyder, F. Zack Snyder, F. Snyder potato chips.
Yeah, anything that involves Snyder, fuck them. Fuck them, and I don't want to hear about them.
I will say Scott Snyder to me is he's all hype to me. I don't like his stuff.
Scott Snyder is nothing.
Is amazing.
Scott Snyder is Flash without substance. Zack Snyder is Flash without substance, and Snyder's fucking potato chips are Flash without substance. Fuck all of them. We're done with Snyders on this goddamn show.
But I won't lie. Scott Snyder did give us Court of Owls.
Shut up about Snyders.
But that was the most amazing Batman series. The last one I read was Court of Owls.
Because that was 10 years ago.
Because what comics needed was more ancient fucking retconned in villains. That's exactly what DC needs.
You like Court of Owls? Wes, you like quarter hours?
I'm trying to transition here, Fatal J.
Yeah,
We're not
just
getting
tell me that
stuck-
you like quarter hours and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. I like quarter hours. But you
Okay.
know what's not all style and actually have some substance? One of these bad boy t-shirts right here. You go to Redbubble, you type in Thinking Critical, you can find one of these, or you can go in the video description. There's a link to where you can get all the merch from Redbubble.
I need to
Let's
buy
put that
one
out there too. But we do got Low Pro. Which was worse, All-Star Batman and Robin or Jeff Loeb's run in the Ultimate Marvel Universe?
Ultimate Marvel. Hands
I'll
down.
go with the Ultimatum being the
Yeah.
worst.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
You got some twin cast in there.
At least
so
All-Star
weird.
Batman had wonderful art.
He had
Yeah.
Blob biting off the head of the wasp and just all that weird. No, it was just wrong. And
All Star
What is the-
Batman was
what is-
crazy, but
Yeah.
Ultimatum ruined a universe.
he destroyed
What is there-
80% of the universe.
Yeah, but what is the appeal of Jeff Loeb? I just don't get it. I don't get it at this point.
Have you not read The
I
Long
don't-
Halloween?
But that's
Have
true.
you not read
Oh,
Spider-Man? What is it, Blue?
His colored Marvel
great.
books are good.
Great.
Long Halloween, Dark
Okay.
Victory.
Yeah.
He's
People
got
love
some good
Hush,
stuff.
Okay, all right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, Hush is
all right.
high.
Yeah, you're right.
Hush
I
is
forgot about
overrated.
that.
Hush is overrated, but no, Jeff Loeb's got his
I-
stuff, and
I
he was
love Hush.
the architect for the for all the Marvel shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
So he's
Hey,
done
Commander, solid movie. He wrote that.
Yeah. We've also got Kenneth Dowling here. I won't judge Fatal J because with me, you could play a drinking game every time I mention Denny O'Neil or Roger Stern. I'm
Right.
glad you're not. But
With you on that one, Kenneth.
don't judge Fatal J just because of his love of the Snyderverse. I mean, it means that he doesn't like good movies, but otherwise, he's a good guy.
It's gonna be 15 years from now.
This
We're
is
gonna be
coming from
hearing
the
about
man that
these
said he
fucking
loves
shitty
Scorpion
movies.
King from The Rock.
Scorpion King was a good movie, man. That was all entertainment. My goodness, that was one of the best first spin-offs he ever got.
I'm not gonna
Jermaine,
lie,
you like
it
the
is
Scorpion
guilty
King?
pleasure.
Don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a
good
guilty
movie.
pleasure. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Scorpion
Yeah.
King.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie. I did not like the Scorpion King.
I didn't
Get out of
either.
here, man.
No, I was still. But first of all, okay, I'll say this: it was better than what happened in The Mummy Returns. I'll give you that, because I said none of us showed up for that joint. It was like, man, I didn't show up for some computer-generated six-legged nonsense. I expected him to come out there and just start whooping behind, like, yeah, two-legged style. And then you give me this thing over here with, I like Michael Duncan Clark and all that, but I'm like, no, this is a letdown, bro. It's like, no, I'll watch it again, but no, I don't
Exactly.
think so.
You won't watch The Mummy 3 again, even though it has Jet Li in it. That was a bad movie. We got Ideator here. Seven Secrets is pretty good. Hopefully, Wes will cover more indies to balance out the channel. You can only take so much of the big two slow. You are going to get 7 indie comic recommendations from this channel tomorrow from Drew and I. I can put that one out there. It was a huge indie week. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
definitely 7 Secrets is one of the few things. I think that one's a Tom Taylor comic that actually does pretty well. That's Boom. Boom. Is that Boom? I believe it's Boom.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's boom.
Kenneth Dowling is trolling everybody. Tim Drake is the best Robin, period. Please. Dick Grayson exists, even if it's better
He
as
does.
Nightwing.
Hey, yeah, Dick Grayson's great as Nightwing, but he best Robin Tim.
How are you the Batman historian and aficionado? I don't know. I don't get it.
I have good taste, Wes. What can I say?
This is a terrible idea. Radford agreed source material is king. That is the whole secret of the Marvel success. They respected the original source material. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Don't watch Iron Man 3, for the Mandarin, if you want to get him done correctly.
Yeah, and their Spider-Man really isn't the real Spider-Man. He's more influenced by Iron Man. There are key elements. I agree with that.
No.
For the most part, they got the key elements of the characters, and for the most part out there. There's certainly a better interpretation of than what they've done in DC for the most part.
Yeah.
But you got to respect the characters. That's what everyone's in love with. Mr. DC Comics. DC already has a blueprint. It's called the DC Animated Universe. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's Fatal J out because we got someone's talking crap on him. I don't want him to miss out on it. Yeah.
Oh, we can talk crap about him too.
Oh,
It's
he's
okay.
here.
Oh, my bad.
I'm
My
serious.
bad.
He's eating.
I had to blow my nose, man.
Robin in the Hood says Bumblebee is a great movie. Jay keeps confirming he has bad taste. Yes.
Look,
that is
Robin the
something that he
Hood,
does.
I know you got captivated by the first 10 minutes of the movie. I agree. The first 10 minutes of the movie is how all the Transform movies should be. But you have to admit, after that, it sucked. Bumblebee is not a good movie.
It's a
It's not a good
perfectly
movie.
great Transformers movie. It's a movie about Bumblebee. It's a girl in her car. I think it worked out
Is
perfect.
Bumblebee the best Transformer movie?
Yes, easily.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Not even
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is the best one. You're right.
because I know some people still have fond memories of that first Transformers movie. Go back and pay attention to the plot.
That movie
it's absolute
sucked.
garbage.
Man.
That's the first time me and Wes agreed that a movie sucked. A movie series sucked.
I have
we
never
talk about
watched
it enough.
Transformers all the way through because I keep falling asleep on it.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
terrible.
seen the whole movie.
Josh, you like Bumblebee, right? You got good taste in film. John Cena? Oh no!
I thought it was a really solid movie. I don't know if it's because I didn't expect it. What? Can you hear me?
Oh, you're good now.
Oh,
Yeah, you good. You
Hello.
were tripping at first.
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'm always tripping. No, I thought it was a good movie. It was entertaining, and I didn't expect much, but it was great.
Very good. I completely agree. I watched it with my 4 or 5 year old at the time. He absolutely loved it. I had to buy a bunch of Bumblebee toys, so it probably cost me $50 just for exposing him to it. But that's his favorite Transformer. I got him a nice Bumblebee comic out of it and everything. So
We getting a
Bumblebee's
new
great.
Transformer movie too, right? A new one.
I'm sure we are. Aren't we getting we're getting a shared Hasbro universe minus Transformers. It's gonna have G.I.
Oh.
Joe and Mask in it.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Although the G.I. Joe movies have been
When
bad
you
so
said
far.
G.I. Joe, it's gonna suck then.
Yeah, as long as they I don't even want to get into
Have
that.
y'all
We
ever
got
seen
Bill
Snake
Lindsay.
Eyes?
No.
That
No,
movie
it's
was the
on-
worst movie known to mankind history. Snake Eyes.
It's on HBO Plus or HBO Go, but I haven't watched
Don't
it.
watch
Yet.
it.
I tried to watch Matrix Resurrections, and that was awful. We got Dill Lindsay
Oh, why'd you do that to yourself? Yeah.
putting Gotham across the harbor from Metropolis was a stupid idea. You're telling me Superman wouldn't foot patrol both cities at that point? He's got a point there, Josh. That was a stupid idea.
I disagree because I think Superman's mindset is that Batman's got this and I've got the world.
In the movie, he didn't know he was there. He was like a mystery.
Oh, we're talking about the movies. My bad.
That's
Yeah,
where they did it in, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, look, Gotham and Metropolis aren't that far from each other in the comics either. So
I
It's
thought in
supposed
the
to be
comics,
New York and Chicago. That's half.
That's
of,
what I was
half of
thinking.
America.
That's what I was thinking. It's supposed to be Chicago and New
maybe.
York.
I always think it as they were both like subsection
And
New York.
I
but
do
maybe I'm
know
wrong.
in the comics back in the early '90s, they did say like that New York was Metropolis and New Jersey was DC Comics. They weren't.
Yeah.
So at one point, that was the continuity.
I
but
could see
Yeah.
New Jersey being Gotham because New Jersey is such a shithole, but
Yeah.
that's just mean. You know what I mean?
Look, what I will say is we're not going to try to defend anything going on with the movies because they sucked. Because Zack Snyder can't write and he can't direct.
Well, I like you speaking for the entire panel because
That's another shot, ladies and gentlemen. That's another shot.
another shot of milk. Try it out. We got Dill and Lindsay. Jason Todd is the best Robin. You all know it.
No, sir.
Man,
No.
negative.
I really like Jason Todd, but he's not the best Robin.
Jason
but he's,
Todd is
as an
forgivable.
anti-hero, like he's
Yes.
pretty amazing as Red Hood. He's much better Red Hood than Robin.
100% agreed.
Yeah, they did so much cool stuff with him afterwards. Man, obviously, we got Kenneth Dowling. If Warner Brothers is serious about making a solid DC universe, they should talk to Paul Dini. He made Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, and created the universe. You are correct, sir. That is the correct answer.
But that makes too much sense, like Doc said. If it makes sense, they're not gonna do it.
I don't know because if you think about it, with Marvel, the architect was not Kevin Feige at the beginning. The architect was Joss Whedon. Like they brought him in specifically for that reason. And Joss Whedon mapped out the films between starting with Captain America, going all the way through Infinity War. And at the time, all he had done was television. He had no films, nothing. He had done television and comic books. So maybe they will catch on of like, hey, if we need an
Are you
architect,
talking about
we
Joss
need some-
Whedon?
Yeah.
He had done a ton of movie scripts. I believe
He had
did,
written movies. He had come in as a,
and he had done Serenity before that.
yeah, but
He
it was
did
also
Buffy
a
the Vampire
continuation.
Slayer before.
It was.
movie.
I
The
just
theaters.
said but it was a continuation of a television series. Like, and it didn't perform. We have to keep in mind, Serenity didn't perform well. Like
But
they
it
were
was
hoping
great.
it would. Huh?
But it was great. It was a great.
It was.
movie.
I look. I.
You know,
am
Serenity was the first Snyder cut.
Shut the fuck up.
And what?
Man,
I
you
was
always
the first-
ruining the mood.
I-
It was the
I
first
will-
time because fans demanded that to come back, so they
If-
made the movie.
If anyone on here is going to be a
Star
Joss
Trek
Whedon
was the first
backer
Snyder
about
cut.
the stuff that he's done, it is me. But what I'm saying is, at the time that they pulled him on to do something like architect something as big as the MCU and direct their flagship movie, from a filmmaking and film world standpoint, he wasn't qualified. The only film he had done was Serenity, and it bombed. It bombed
It
at the
was so
box
good,
office.
though.
It was a great film, but it bombed. And at the time, that's all they cared about. We have to keep in mind, they wanted to do Avengers from like that was their plan, was to build the Avengers. And you had movie studios saying, no,
They
you
had the
can't
Zack
do
Snyder
this.
plan, huh?
They
They
had,
brought in old Joss Whedon to fix that.
yeah. So they might get some. What I'm saying is there is hope. If you have someone that understands potential and understands the benefit of having someone who understands a world and a universe and that can architect things, we have hope.
Fatal J, I want you to acknowledge that the first fans that got their show back into movies was Star Trek.
Yeah.
They canceled
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
you're right.
Because
Because I'm a
Trekkie
Trekkie too.
conventions, and eventually you got the movie.
You right. I'm a Trekkie. You right. But that Josh Whedon Serenity, that was a part of that too, where the fans demanded a movie.
Yeah,
Or,
Star Wars
the
happened
series
like
come
30 years before.
Yeah.
40.
You right.
There's a lot of earlier. Man, Serenity's so good. I need to watch that
Yeah.
tonight. We got Dylan Lindsay. Okay, that's fair. Jason Todd was a way better Red Hood. Yeah, he's so good.
What's
We're
up,
also
Dylan?
getting a Red Hood tie-in comic to White Knight. What do you think about that, Drew? Is that going to move units? I'm gonna buy it.
I don't know about that because the Harley Quinn series that came out, the little side quest, it didn't really do too well with us in our store. But
Same
we'll see.
artist.
Yeah, same artist, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't think it'll move that many. People want the main story. That's what people want.
Well, I hope so. It's Red Hood though. That's a better character than Harley.
Yeah, I think people are over Harley.
Yes,
think so,
I agree.
too.
Yeah.
And we actually got caught up on the super chats. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting us. That was absolutely amazing. And yo, what's up to Titans Review? Good to see you in here. Have we talked enough about this DC Comics overhaul? I think the viewers kind of walked us all the way through it.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's talk about this Erik Larsen stuff, Drew. We had Erik Larsen, the chief financial officer of Image Comics, went out there and said out loud what he wasn't supposed to, that the customers were right, and DC and Marvel were making enormous mistakes just changing out their characters and replacing them with new characters into the old mantles.
You know, look, someone like Erik in his position, it's only a matter of when, not if he's going to bend the knee. And we just need to, any more with him, any more creators, we just need a clock. We need to make bets. All right, I'm giving him 48 hours before he makes his apology and starts groveling. But
Didn't he already walk it back, or didn't he
Yeah,
already
he did.
apologize?
yeah.
About
In like 2
72 hours.
days. Yeah, for a day. Yeah, it's like we need to start making bets. When a creator makes comments like this, let's start making bets. Give them 24 hours. Give them 48 hours before they just walk it back.
Yeah, he obviously had to, but he said a lot of common sense there,
Yeah,
Doc.
he did.
You have to acknowledge it.
Well, yeah, of course. But you can't have common sense in the comic industry these days. It's a bunch of clowns. So common sense is antithetical to the current comic industry. They don't want to, if it's not a truth, they've failed to understand the basic rule of reality, which is that reality does not always afford them a truth to their liking. And that's the way the comic industry is. Erik Larsen spoke some basic, reasonable, common sense truth. And because it goes against their current marketing philosophy of the entire comic book industry, they had to annihilate him. And then he had to realize that he was about to be marked for, let's just say, creative unaliving. And so he had to walk it back. It doesn't matter. He likely still understands that, but it's really amusing to watch Erik come to the same arguments that the proto Comics Gate had in its early inception, and then but just 6 years later. You're kind of like at the same point of what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality, about 6 months. Well, apparently, what's the difference between being a istophobe comics fan and comics creators having the same opinion? About 6 years.
Doc, I'm gonna tell you why Erik Larsen walked it back. It's because of this right here. Because let me tell you something. Those Savage Dragon checks, I can promise you, sir, they're not doing nothing. And the thing about it is, Image, believe it or not, depends on those crossovers. They depend on drawing those covers for Marvel. They still do that type of stuff. So he thought about it and said, you know what? I'm messing up a potential check. Let me shut up.
I think there's the Image Union. I think the Image Union pressured him about that.
Yeah, it's the dumbasses in their Image Union that definitely had a impact on it. But no, it's just he's just look. He realized he spoke an inconvenient truth.
True.
And he had to get back in lockstep with the rest of the industry. He thought
through re-education, Doc.
Yeah. I mean, they put him in the room. They Clockwork Oranged him, and then he came back out. He came back out speaking David Gabriel and Tom Brevoort marketing 101.
Gabe, I'm not saying Erik Larsen is hurting for money. I know he pretty much a millionaire, but what I'm saying is they still want the money to come in for Image Comics. You don't know what might happen to Image Comics on down the line. I just told you Robert Kirkman pretty much saved them with Walking Dead. I mean, it's very shaky right now with Image.
As a founder and a board member, he gets a check out of every single thing that they do. So
as a CFO.
Unless all those Netflix pitches come comic book series that didn't get picked up for Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or Paramount Plus or fucking Crackle or whatever the shit other Z-list streaming service there is out there that gets turned into a comic because it wasn't even good enough for a Z-list streaming show. Unless all those dry up, he's still drawing checks. So
he's still drawing checks. And I don't want nobody to get me wrong. I am a huge Erik Larsen fan, but let's just keep it all the way funky. Those Savage Dragon comics are not selling. They're not.
Shit. I can almost guarantee he makes more every time Marvel releases an omnibus of his old Spider-Man work than he does on Savage Dragon. But
Savage Dragon's about as hot as Fatal J in that Speedo last weekend. You know what I mean?
So
ain't nobody want to see that.
Look, but you're still going to have Erik. I mean, Erik probably he finally understands the argument that all these longtime readers, like the six of us, and most of the people, most of the 300 people in the fucking chat, have come to a long time ago, which is I'm not going to buy your shitty not Batman book just because you slap Batman's name on it. I'm not going to buy your shitty not Spider-Man book just because you slap Spider-Man's name on it. When they're not the same fucking character, we're not going to read it there's no guarantee we're going to read it anymore. I mean, that's basic understanding. This is something that would not even be up for debate or confusion in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. It wasn't until about 2010. Yes, and it's still not. Yeah, it's not a confusing concept in manga. It's not. If you were, I mean, fuck it. Dav Pilkey makes a shit ton of money on Dogman, right? If he slapped like a fucking cat in there and still called it Dogman, it's not fucking Dogman, and he's going to lose readers.
He did introduce a new character that's a cat, but he didn't call them Dogman.
I know, but all he has to do, he starts calling them Dogman. Guess what? Everybody's going to go, that's not fucking Dogman. I'm not buying it anymore. It's not.
As my daughter said, as my daughter said when the Winx Club Netflix movie came out, that's not the Winx. So that's.
I mean, look. I mean, it's basic A is A kind of shit. the thing is what it is. You can change, you can tinker with it, but when you wholesale change it, it ceases being that thing. And then the audience for that thing goes into doubt. This is not complicated. If you decided to replace all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with like modern fucking artists, like you decided to name a bunch of new turtles after like Jackson Pollock and fucking what's that dude that does all the street art?
Warhol.
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol. That fucking the guy that does the
there
Banksy.
Was a fifth turtle doc named Jack.
Banksy, Warhol, Pollock.
Yeah, Banksy, Warhol, Pollock, and fucking Dav Pilkey. Guess what? Nobody's gonna buy them. They're not the fucking turtles anymore.
We do have a few super chats to get here. We got Mr. DC Comics. Got to go back to the last conversation. Says Kevin Feige and Sam Raimi's blueprint for the MCU and Spider-Man is Christopher Reeve's Superman. They both said it.
Hey, I can't wait to see Sam Raimi do. That's the main reason why I'm watching Multiverse or whatever that movie is. I love Sam Raimi, man. I'm a huge fan of his work. He's gonna do a good job with that one.
What's the best movie? Is it Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, or Army of Darkness?
Evil Dead 1 scared me to death when I was a kid.
It's true.
Army of Darkness is still the best movie.
Hey, don't forget about Darkman.
We're talking about the trilogy.
Oh, yeah, he did do
Darkman.
Darkman
Is a good film now. Liam Neeson. That's kind of
Neeson.
Yeah, it's kind of like the first superhero movie that really worked.
Yep.
But it wasn't really a superhero movie. It was a monster movie, if you think about it.
Wow, he's good at monster movies. I love me some Sam Raimi. But yeah, Evil Dead, we got that when I was like 8 for a slumber party. We watched it together. We were all scared to death.
Do you think he gonna put your boy in the movie?
Bruce Campbell, absolutely.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
They've already showed him being dressed up as Doctor Strange.
Oh, I didn't even see that part.
You got to follow him on social media, Fatal J. You could have done a video about that.
I don't usually follow celebrities, but I definitely follow Sam Raimi.
No, Bruce Campbell. You got to follow Bruce Campbell.
Oh, Bruce Campbell. Okay. He's a funny guy.
Absolutely, it's hilarious. I also like Bubba Hotep. That was another good one.
Yeah, Bubba Hotep was good. That was fun.
We've got You Murdered That Guy from North of the Border in Canada. What is your favorite work of classic literature?
J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth universe. Pick each one: The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, whatever.
I'm reading Lord of the Rings to my boys. But if I was going to say like my very favorite ever, it would be the Bible. But after that, I will go.
Oh yeah, I gotta say the Bible too.
1984.
I gotta say the Bible too, and then I'll say J.R.R. Tolkien. Well, religious-wise, I gotta say that, man. I'm just saying.
Do you like the Silmarillion?
Yeah, but it's a tough read. But when you
exactly, man, it's like reading Tom Bombadil for 500
but you gotta
pages.
when you understand, watch YouTube videos about the Middle Earth lore, and then go
Are
back
you
and
telling
read
me I
it.
can't understand a book? Oh, I understood it. It just there's a reason he pitched that as his follow-on to The Hobbit, and it was rejected, and he had to do Lord of the Rings. It was like, this is too much. Like,
I don't. That was a good comeback though. That's what made me laugh.
All right.
The Odyssey.
Yes, it's mine.
Odyssey.
Yes.
Odyssey, that's good.
Did y'all watch the Odyssey movie I told you about 2 weeks ago?
Armand
Armand Assante? That joint is great. Yes.
Yeah, the one
Now,
on the sci-fi.
now was the time for your anger. Oh, yeah, I love
You
that
talking about the one on the sci-fi channel, right, Jermaine?
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
You need to watch that, man. It's dope. The Odyssey
Well,
on
now
the sci-fi.
now Gervain's signing on, it's under consideration.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. It wasn't real.
I'm gonna back Wes on that one. Jermaine signed off on it, and then I wrote it down.
That's good.
What's your favorite classic literature, Josh?
I'm gonna go. Let's go, Arthur Conan Doyle with the
Sherlock Holmes. Nice.
Yes,
Or are you talking Tarzan?
No. Let's do Sherlock Holmes. It's a bunch of like you can. Go
Robert
buy
E. Howard is
collections now.
another one for me. All of his Conan stuff, but most of those are like short stories.
Yeah,
they're so amazing.
I'm down with short stories. Like
those are all great. Drew, what did you have an answer?
Yeah, mine's the Odyssey. I remember reading.
I thought you were gonna say Cat in the Hat.
No, that's me too. That's for tomorrow.
That's a good one too, though.
Green eggs and ham. Green Eggs and Ham is better. Fuck you.
Drew
Odyssey is great.
Yeah,
Drew
I read
doesn't-
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, read that in middle school. It blew my mind.
Drew doesn't want to admit that when he was younger in elementary school, he read Cat in the Hat and was so inspired that he actually wrote a book called Drew in a Shoe.
No, it was ABC Go. It was ABC Go I read that inspired me to do that.
Gervais, did you have an answer?
Oh yeah, no, I got three, and somebody mentioned mine, but Hamlet is definitely my all-time favorite piece of classic literature. The Man in Iron Mask, and I like the connection between the Three Musketeers. I always enjoyed that.
You like
Definitely
the movie?
Oh, the movie was good. I like the movie. Me and my brothers went to see that with Leonardo DiCaprio. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I liked when they were doing those adaptations, the Count of Monte Cristo with I want to say, I don't know if I don't think who was it? James Cameron?
Guy Pearce?
Caviezel. Jim
Yeah,
Caviezel.
he was
That
Guy
movie is
Pearce.
amazing.
Jim Caviezel. Yeah, Count
I
of
tried
Monte
to read the
Cristo.
book, but it's
I love
so
stuff like
big.
that.
It's like fucking 1,000 pages.
But there've been some really good film adaptations, modern ones, of those stories I would recommend to anyone. Even like Tristan and Isley. They did a movie with was it Franco, and I forget who the young lady was, but
James Franco.
I want to say James Franco.
You're a big James Franco fan. I like it.
No, but definitely, like I said, Shakespeare is my thing, but Hamlet's the one because I like the whole thing of the playing stupid, so people underestimate you, so you figure out what's going on. So yeah,
The
Hamlet's
Fatal J is what we call it. It's always he's put on an act.
Well, that's my theory.
That's why he puts the movie on upside down to the camera.
Look, this is one of the few sci-fi channel movies that's a classic, man.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
I don't know. Isn't the Battlestar Galactica reboot kind of technically a movie?
Yeah, there was a movie.
Yeah,
there was a
miniseries.
miniseries.
The miniseries.
No, they had a movie. They had two movies.
The movie first came out and then it got into the show. Right?
Well, it was a miniseries,
No,
a
it's a
2-episode
miniseries.
miniseries, and then it was the show, and then there was two made for
Two movies.
Yeah,
two movies.
like
There was
the Razor and the
Razors.
Plan or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
those
Exactly.
are good too.
Yep. But I still think that the Dune miniseries for sci-fi
Heck
was
yeah.
was better. Honestly, it's as
Mhm.
good. It's just as good as the current movie. And
Doc.
you could watch that and not have to wait 4 years for the other two chapters.
Dog,
'Cause
I
it's
thought I was the
basically
only
a-
person that thought that the
it's-
sci-fi channel Dune is better than the
Yeah.
new one that's out.
The
Yeah.
only difference between the new one and the sci-fi channel is a bigger budget, but it's like basically fucking shot for shot remake.
And Doc, it's better than the old Dune movie that came out
Oh,
before
yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
You
well,
can watch
let's
it for
move
free on YouTube, fellas.
We got Dylan Lindsay. I'm buying Red Hood comic from the White Knight. I'm a Mark.
Oh yeah,
The Red Hood Jason Todd Mark. I get that. It's gonna be dope.
I'm
We
just
got
a white
Ray-
knight, Mark.
Yeah. Wraith X7. The big two don't use their less popular, lesser known original POC, LGBTQ plus, and female characters, and only bring them back when they need a character to kill, maim, depower, or turn evil.
Or they
They
just
are
pretend they
wasting a lot
don't
of good
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they pull look, we created a character. This is the first time ever. Like, fuck.
Except for the 43 that you have on the fucking shelf that you don't use.
Yeah, that's my
Yes.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You finally got Midnight and Apollo back. They right off the bat they kill one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is,
Sounds
or
about
is
right.
he dead?
What's that?
Or is he dead?
Well, they're certainly hinting that he's not dead, but that's what it looked like at the beginning. But Wraith X has definitely got a point there. They just don't utilize those characters right. What the hell happened with this Milestone reboot, Gervais? Icon and Rocket should be good. That comic sucks.
Well, no. Again, this is going back to when we were talking about the DC Overhaul stuff, the film stuff. Somebody has to have a voice about it. Somebody has to know what this thing is supposed to look like, not only individually, but in terms of the world. If you're creating a shared world, and like I said, my thing always was that my concern of anything about the Milestone reboot was that Dwayne was gone, Christopher wasn't involved, and there's reasons why he didn't want to be involved. And Reggie, in my opinion, was not the person to step into that role. And they clearly didn't have anybody behind him who, at least if Reggie was serving as the face of that in terms of like being the architect, somebody who could actually do that job in a real way. So, you know, you said it was unfair, but like I said, yeah, you take the Christopher Priest Black Panther run and put it up Reggie's Black Panther run. Who would you rather be taking over Milestone? To me, that's hands down what it is. But when people would tell me, oh, check out the Milestone Zero thing, when I saw the depictions of Rocket and Icon, that's when you kind of knew it was in trouble. Because when you take that original Icon book, and I know guys who even think that those books are a little bit too culturally stereotypical, like they have too many tropes, it's light years ahead of what is going on in the recent books. So yeah, you know, at some point, someone has to be, and I know this is not a word in favor at times, someone has to be a real gatekeeper. Someone has to be, you know, the man, the one watching on the wall saying, yeah, you can do this, but you just can't go that far. And if you're going to do that, you always break the rules with a purpose, but that means you got to know the rules first. So, yeah. That's what I want to say
before we move on to this next super chat. Thank you so much to everyone that's given us a thumbs up. We're like 193 now. We're almost to 200 for the video so far, and we're over 300 live viewers. So we're almost there. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, do that. Let everyone know we're having a good time. They are going to be winding down here in the next 45 minutes, but been very spicy today. We got King KDI. Did someone hand Erik Larsen a customer insight data, or did he just want some attention for the week? Maybe some other image execs think that too. I think he was just saying common sense, and he was like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. That was a bad idea."
I think a lot of them think it, but they know they can't say it. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, he told the truth. That's that Ben Affleck movie. What was that one where he was Will Smith's agent or something like that, and he just basically told the truth at the press conference, and then he ended up in Jersey. But anyway, Jersey Girl, that's what it was. That's
like the worst.
Erik Larsen shaking
it? No, that's Gigi.
No, Geely. Yeah, Geely is the worst.
Yeah,
Jersey the Girl was the one where he was wiping a baby's ass.
Yeah. That was the precursor to Geely. Man, that guy really resurrected that career, but Batman didn't work out for him. I would have thought. Kenneth Dowling says, my all-time dream team-up is Jim Lee teaming with Chris Claremont to make a 10 to 12 additional issues of Mutant Genesis era, but you guys told me that won't happen. No,
well, Chris kind of got to continue it with that X-Men Forever. X-Men Forever, like one and two. He wanted to do different artists, but I was continuing it. It was fun.
It won't never happen.
No,
because him and Chris didn't get along though, right? That's what I heard. They didn't get along.
Kind of screwed over Chris Claremont with the X-Men.
Yeah.
It was also Bob Harris wanting to push Chris out and wanting to give Jim more power, but then Jim only lasted for an extra 10 issues.
If that.
So he bought 10 extra months. Good job.
30 pieces of silver, you know, wasn't worth it.
I don't even think we'll see another Jim Lee run like a 10-issue thing.
No.
I don't think.
Last time he was announced for a comic book, he made it half an issue before he stopped.
Yep.
And that was that Immortals?
That's Immortal Man.
Yeah. Immortal Man.
Yeah.
And the time before that, he got one issue in, and that was with his own fucking comic when he did Wildcats.
The longest run he did recent wasn't his Suicide Squad. Didn't he?
Yeah. At the start of Rebirth, he did Suicide Squad. Even then, he didn't do a full issue though. He did like 3/4 of an issue, and then they had a backup story. But he went a decent run with that. Like, I applaud him for knocking that out. And that's a solid book. I'm not gonna lie. It had some good moments.
That's a good book. Yep.
Again. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, if he gets knocked off the totem pole, you might see him doing more comic art.
I imagine he's a multimillionaire at this point. Probably doesn't need to.
He'll stay busy.
His hands are probably all cramped and stuff. He's been drawing his whole life. We got Kenneth Dowling. One of my favorite classic literatures, The Alchemist.
Yep.
Keep in mind also, Jim has a similar royalties deal to Chris Claremont for all of his old Marvel stuff. Back when he was doing all those guys, whenever they were doing their Marvel stuff, that was when reprinting and trade collecting was incredibly rare, so they got paid pretty well on it. They still have those deals.
So they got the reverse Moore deal then?
Why do you think Chris hasn't had to write anything? Because all of it he wrote it for so long, and they never collected stuff back then, so they give you a pretty good back end return when they did do it because it was so rare. Now they collect everything, and it's just as shitty as your page rate.
I'm not saying he's gonna need to do it. I'm saying that he's going to want to do it. I think people get a love for what they're doing, and once they stop and they're not doing anything, you get this itch of like, I need to do something. That's
he
what
doesn't
I'm
even
saying.
have his YouTube channel anymore. He used to do all those illustrations, right?
Yeah.
You still do his Instagram thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done an IG.
Yeah, he's still posting stuff on there.
The only person I follow on Instagram is Leah Williams. You know what I'm saying?
You got that right.
The only fans that you're following her on.
Man.
Blade Kramer says, go play Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. It's fun. Are you starting a guild? Are you inviting new members? What's going on? Is you team up in this one?
Cool. All right.
No, nobody knows. I haven't played that one.
Oh, no, I haven't played yet, but I mean, if he's saying it's good, great.
man.
I mean, I love the Lego Marvel collection. I'm working my way through that now, so I'm glad to hear a good recommendation for that one. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for someone to create the Thanking Critical World of Warcraft guild. You know what I mean? Why aren't we teaming up? All this geek knowledge, we could turn it out on there. Was it Azarath? I think it is. We got Wraith X7. You guys should do a series of videos listing and spotlighting lesser known, less popular POC, LGBTQ plus, and female characters from the big two. I couldn't do a series of videos. I could probably do one, but probably make it spicy. But there's always so many of those types of videos you could do before people get tired of them.
Yeah.
There's also only so many of them that were actually any fucking good, because they were created as a publicity stunt and then they were ignored once the publicity stunt was over. So they never got touched.
There's so many good characters. They're not doing anything with Luke Cage, Doc. Come on.
No, or Night Thrasher. I'm waiting for Night Thrasher to come back. That's one character I want to see again.
Hey, when you get the new Warriors, that's when we're gonna get it.
Please no.
Man, I want the Warriors to come out.
I do. At this point, I want to.
I don't want to see Safe Place or whatever his name is.
How is that not leaked at all? That's why I'm wondering. How is that not leaked? I will never understand that.
Unless it was never created, like actually finished.
Safe Place.
I'd read it just for the viewers, of
Safe
course.
Place.
Safe Space. Safe Space. And Snowflake.
I'm telling you, it's an act, people. Fatal J is messing with all of us.
And
you know that.
That bumbling shell is an actual evil genius.
We need Internet Gas Boy. Whatever the fuck his name was.
Internet gas.
Need the Trailblazer, charging her way and running out of air.
Yeah. Well, like she couldn't hike around a lake, let alone up a mountain. The Trailblazer. That was crazy. Oh man, I think we're done with that one. We aren't going to be able to get through all these, obviously, but who wants to talk about the Green Lantern reset?
No.
Obviously, the Green Lantern's been around for a very long time. We had the Jeff Thorne end of Green Lantern with issue number 12. They never announced it was the end of the comic book series, Drew. You would know that better than I, being a retailer. Mm-hmm. But they pretty much changed everything here. There's no central power battery. There's no more Guardians of Oa. Some Green Lanterns aren't Green Lanterns anymore. It looks like Simon Boz isn't a Green Lantern, but he can speak to dead Green Lanterns. And what the hell was this?
It's a choice. I'll give him that. He made a choice. But I'll be honest with you, none of these books are selling in our store at all. Mm-hmm. No one wants this series at all. From what I understand, a lot of our fans aren't really too happy with that. I mean, they're happy seeing Hal back. I'll say that. But it was a choice, and unfortunately, this book really isn't selling for us. But I hope it will sell in the future. We'll see what happens, but not looking good on our end as a retailer.
Did you like the issue?
Not like I was briefly happy seeing Hal back. I'll say that. But I wanted to see Guy Gardner.
He had some really big camel toe or moose knuckle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wasn't looking, but now you say it.
I was.
Oh, but,
well, now I'm picking up that issue.
Guy Gardner's my guy, and I wanted to see him back, but we didn't see him. And I'm waiting for Guy Gardner. After what Tom King did to him, I just want Guy Gardner to be given the respect again.
Yeah, I think it sucks too, because I wonder what this book could have been had Jeffrey known what he was going to be able to do.
I wonder what it would have been like if Jeff would have just been not hired because he's not very good.
Well, I mean, look, and yeah, we can have that debate, but I'm saying in general with any writer, like if you don't know if your story is going to last more than 5 or 6 issues, like it's going to change the way you write a book. But if you come in and I've got at least 2 years, I've got at least 24 issues, let's run with it. You're going to structure your book differently. And it looked like he was kind of like giving in to like, all right, let's actually start taking the story somewhere because I guess we're just going to keep going. And then even he didn't even really know that, oh, well, we're ending at 12. And it's almost kind of like DC got to a point of being like, hey, we've got some stories we can tell here. Thanks a lot. And they're just passing it off to somebody else, which, by the way, might be worse. So
yeah, he'll be all right. Yeah, he just got warriored. That's all. So he'll be all right.
I know that they made a lot of changes, behind the scenes. Yeah. What we got and what he had submitted and was approved are not the same thing. There were a lot of changes after what they said. Yes, you can do this. He got started, and they're like, "No, you can't do this. We've already paid you, so you got to fix it, and you got to change this character out for that character, and you got to include Teen Lantern and everything."
And I'm letting you guys know I've heard from writers that what Wes is talking about. Some of these writers are getting these notes 2 days before their script is due.
Wow.
In fairness, they're only writing one fucking draft anyway, so, and they're probably just scribbling it on the back of the napkin.
Oh, no,
yeah,
no,
but if
no,
you
no,
have
no.
the pitch and you go in there, you're like, this is what I want to do with Green Lantern, and then they approve it, and you start onto it, and they're like, you can't use these key characters that you already got these plans for. You have to redo the entire thing on the fly as you're trying to get your draft up.
And
yeah, no, these are situations where they're writing arcs and they have an arc mostly finished, and then DC is coming back and saying, hey, we're actually pushing that storyline down. We need you to throw in like a 4-issue story before that, but because we're doing this, you're going to have to change these elements, and oh, by the way, you can't have this character, and we need that in 2 days.
Yeah, it's bad enough when you have but it's bad enough when you have creativity by committee, but now you have creativity by corporation. Creativity by committee is always difficult, but when you're starting to do it by mandate or corporation, it's a whole different ballgame. So that's why sometimes you have to give the creators a little bit of benefit of the doubt, unless you know exactly, like, no, they meant that joint. But like, yeah, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. That's an old saying. There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I've been talking with some cover artists at DC. They've been showing me some work coming out like later this year and next year. I'm like, whoa, they're going here with the story, and it's like I'm very curious to see if they actually get there or not. But we'll see what happens.
Well, were you excited or were you?
I was excited. I mean, I saw some Action Comics variants. I'll just say I got excited. I'll say that.
Not really touching Action Comics. Thankfully, they're just letting Philip Kennedy Johnson do whatever he wants, I guess, off on the side. I think it's worked out for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's too bad what they've done with Green Lantern. That's not the biggest title. Obviously, you got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, then, Justice League. Then you get down to Green Lantern, but he's still one of their really important characters.
It's one of their big 7.
Yeah. Just hasn't been treated all that well. It was so strange. They never announced it was over. But it's clear that it is over, and they made so many changes, and we're going into a dark crisis. We know the character that he just spent 12 issues, an entire year elevating, John Stewart, is going to die. Like, well, that was worth it.
It's par for the course.
Yeah, it makes no sense. We got Kenneth Daly. Sorry.
No, just said, and then they tease that they're coming back at the end of the book. Yeah,
the Emerald Knights and he returned. We got Kenneth Daly. I read somewhere that Sean Gordon Murphy said he is already planning a sequel to Batman Beyond the White Knight. Is that true? As far as I know, like, he's got like a long-term plan and vision for the White Knight universe. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I know that he, or at least what I've been told, is he has like this really huge plan for it.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. And I think he's kind of fallen into that category of some other top tier writers that had plans or pitch things and aren't getting phone calls back.
Yeah. So we'll see it, but it's definitely, he has an idea. I don't think he's written it yet, but it's certainly know what's going to happen. What are you saying?
Sean should absolutely just write and draw his next thing, then just submit it and see whether or not it gets fucking published without anybody actually signing him.
Man, that would be difficult since it's probably the only way he makes money, though. You know what I mean?
Oh no, he'll still somehow get a check. They'll just realize later. Oh wait, we never signed a fucking oh shit.
We never asked for this. That's good anyway. He'll probably sell. We've got the Ninja Genko. Reset Aquaman while you're at it. Well, the Ninja Ginkgo. Reset Aquaman while you're at it. You have good news waiting for you tonight. I have a video coming. Aquaman got canceled at issue number 6. They forgot to mention it was a miniseries. It might have been the plan the whole time, but it sounds like they are somewhat resetting Aquaman. I don't know that Jackson Hyde will ever become the
series that was
Aquaman
good.
himself. What?
The last Aquaman series that was good was drawn by Paul Pelletier. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Paul Pelletier?
Yes.
The Rebirth
That was
start
the
was pretty
last
solid.
Aquaman series.
The Dan Abnett one was really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Rebirth. And then the one before that was Jeff Johns, and that was really good too.
Yeah. Ivan Reese in the art. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. There's been a really good Aquaman.
Once they gave it to Kelly Sue.
Oh God.
It was about time, Doc. It was about time.
Yeah.
We need a new
And then they did a I can't remember, like a memory wipe story with while doing like 4 other memory wipe stories. Like, come on.
Yeah.
basically stuff. We got Federico De La Casa says, my favorite heroes in the comics world. This week I spent money on the barbecue for Easter and not in bad comics. Hope the rumor for DC are true, and I want you as editor, as I said last time, and purchase EIC. Listen, they can't afford me at this point. You know what I mean? But they definitely need some type of change. And I imagine with the words that we got that there is going to be some actual change coming to DC Comics, whether it's superficial or it's real. We shall see. I hope you enjoy your Easter weekend. And it sounds like you're going to have some nice time on a barbecue. I would have spent it there too. There weren't a lot of great comics at DC or Marvel this week. It was almost all indie comics. That's where it all was.
True that.
Josh, what are you doing for Easter? You going to a barbecue? You're in Texas.
Dude, I'm freaking working, man.
On Easter?
Yeah.
You better at least be getting paid like double time.
Negative, sir. I am
I think
salary.
it's salary. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
We-
You can forget about that kind of stuff.
We just came off like one of our best years ever. And I think at this point, with everything going on, my company's in panic mode. And they're like, how can we make ourselves look as profitable as possible for this year? So I'm pulling like 70, 80-hour weeks right now. I'm. If you're wondering why I don't have comic books behind me, hint, hint. Starts with an I, ends with views.
Oh Lord.
My goodness. We didn't mean to tap into your personal life there. I was trying to
right.
make things fun. We've got Dylan Lindsay. Jordan White is that nerdy guy that that never had a female attention. Now that he's in an active slack with women, he can't give it up. So he won't fire them even though they're terribly underqualified. I don't know, Doc. Is that true?
Somehow somebody told me he's married.
What? He's married to
I
a
was
doctor.
That's not
about
the
to say the
reason,
same
man.
thing to a woman.
I know,
To a
but
woman.
I'm still thinking he might be that guy that married his love doll.
Oh,
No, she's
man.
a doctor, I believe. I believe that's what he said in the interview.
Jesus. How has no
Okay.
one done, how has no one done the Seinfeld thing where they go up to he and her and be like, you could have done a hell of a lot better than this guy?
I'm just wondering if she's also from Canada and you wouldn't know her. Because that's the way that argument feels. Yeah, I'm totally married to a doctor and I look like this and work in comics. Yeah, sure. I fucking buy
No,
that.
the story
Right.
was
You guys,
he was married to
too
a
close to
doctor,
home here.
working in New York, and that's how he got his master's degree because she was working and he went to school. So it would have been
Yeah.
he would have been homeless. You know what I mean? The story didn't work out if he was lying about it. And Gervais, you mean you're married to a doctor? She's pretty much
That's
your
right,
sugar mom
damn it.
at this point, right?
Hey, we keep
Yeah.
that between us, okay?
Hey,
You know,
He's
you
the
guys stay over there with
whenever
your stuff.
she goes to the big doctor meetings, she's got Gervais on her arm.
Oh, look,
Hold on,
speaking
though.
of husbands of doctors everywhere, you get that
No,
crap
no.
all the time.
No,
She
no,
married
no.
you?
Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. We can look at Gervain and be like, yeah, he can do that. We can look at Jordan White and we go, I don't really fucking believe it.
Well, I'll just say this much. I mean, the only problem with this theory is that, believe me, if you're married, Believe me, the last thing you want is more female attention. Just like,
I'm with
you've got
Jermaine.
plenty of female attention. You take it from a guy with a wife who was a woman, 2 daughters, and a female dog. It's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm good.
My wife was
That's like
interrogating
I
me
feel
like 4
surrounded.
years ago. I was like, "You think I can handle more of this?" I was like, "You're enough. I love you.
come
I've
on.
only got enough love for
Yes,
you,
right.
babe."
There you
think
go.
I could have
That's
anything on the side. I couldn't handle it. Jeez.
But yeah, I don't believe that Jordan is married. I believe that is a fabrication, and it is probably the most, well, only marginally more believable than everything that's been published by his office since he took over the X-Men.
Well, I believe him. I don't see why he would have lied in that interview, but it's a theory. We got Monster Mania. That's a nice little handle you got there. Sad to see the Guardians of Oa go. Always were interesting to me. That's core to the mythos of the Green Lanterns, Josh. How can you get rid of them?
Again, like I don't think it. I think this was him trying to tell a story that was going to be like a 3 to 5 year story, and we got a year into it, and then we're not getting whatever the rest of his plan was that was signed off on. So I mean, look, I don't know. I think this was meant to be like the rise of a conflict, and this was the start of the main conflict.
We're at chapter 3 instead of chapter 18 when it was going to finish.
Sure. I mean,
you didn't get anywhere near the end of the story.
Yeah,
probably. We got Kenneth Dowling. I'm out, fellas. Enjoy the holiday. Yes, Wes. Thinking Critical is the end all be all. See you next week and can't wait.
Bye.
Kenneth, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter holiday. And I say that to everyone out there. I think it's about time to start wrapping this up. And we'll let everyone get back to what they're doing for the holiday weekend. I do want to say before we get to the comic book recommendations, thank you so much to everyone out there that's been supporting the channel. If you're here 2 hours into the live stream, I imagine you're one of the fans that's been with us for a while and it really supports the channel. We are definitely growing right now, not as fast as Fatal J, but we're right on his coattails, and we're getting bigger and bigger without everybody out there supporting the channel and letting everyone know that we're doing
Read the freaking articles I sent you.
You didn't see me any articles. I did read it. You sent me a blog. That wasn't an article. That's different.
Well, whatever. It shows you how to boost your views and subscribers and all that up. It shows you. It works. I'm going
to send you a link to Doc's blog and be like, don't forget to read it. Oh, my goodness. But thank you to everybody for sticking here with us. And if you're watching the replay and you made it to the end of this, you're definitely one of the hardcore fans. We really appreciate it. I'm living the dream here, folks. Talking about nerd stuff every day, raising the boys, basically a stay-at-home dad. So without you guys, that would be impossible. I really appreciate that. Happy Easter to everybody. And now let's talk about some comic books we think people should be reading. Sorry we didn't make it through all the topics, but these guys can get a little long-winded every now and again. All right, Jermaine, we know that you've got rules. You don't buy comic books over $4. What was good was $4 or under?
Oh, there's no problem. So I'm gonna knock this out quick. This is actually a good week. Black Panther #5, enjoying Ridley and Juan Cabal and that story. So hopefully it'll finish up strong. Killlock, Artisan Wraith, #2 was good. Mighty Morphin #18. I know we're starting off with a little bit of a new crew, but I think it's gonna be good. Nocterra #9. Glad to see that back. Norse Mythology 3, #3. Still delivering. 7 Secrets #16. Shadow Man #8. Like the new artist on that, and I'm giving a very, very, very huge honorable mention. Even though I'm not buying the book myself, I encourage others to do so who are Spawn fans or just want to actually support somebody try to move forward. King Spawn #9, which is coming in at $2.99.
Yep, nice solid number there. Hey, Gervais, do you have any updates on the comic book?
Yeah, so we're working on the series Bible for the first project now, so we're excited about that. But I'm waiting to hear back from my printer to see what is going on in terms of the supply chain thing. So once we kind of get that date locked down in terms of being able to print, well, I'll be able to make some announcements in the future about that. But we are moving forward. Everybody's excited about
a series Bible.
What's that?
You said a series Bible?
Series Bible. Yeah, series Bible for the first projects. We're working on that. Actually submitted some character descriptions to my editor, so I'm waiting to hear back from him, and then we'll start moving into the character design stuff, and then just slowly slotting it in. But definitely, the supply crunch stuff is playing a little bit of havoc in terms of what the projected, at least the printing schedule will be. So we'll see how things go. Yeah.
See, I love what you said. That's how I know we're gonna get our product, because a lot of people with the indie comic book people, they don't get the shipping right, man, the printing right, and that's what takes forever. And then people get pissed off, you know. So,
fulfillment is it, man.
Fulfillment is it,
as they say.
Absolutely. I saw Fatal J eating it online.
Only one
all
person
you can eat, baby.
One person, and if he would have just shut up and waited that week, he would have got his comic. He probably felt like
with you, man. This is hilarious. All right, thank you very much to Jermaine. Fatal J, what do you recommend this week?
Oh man, I'm still in that cross-gen universe. A lot of people gonna hate me. Get ready to hate me, people in the chat. Pound for pound, the best independent comic book company to me was cross-gen. Best stories. Best art. I'm talking about, I love every single book that they dropped. Right now I'm reading Scion, I'm reading Crooks, and I'm reading the first, but I want to read the other books too, but those three got me hypnotized right now. I love the work. I love those books. Make sure to check out Cross-Gen Comics. If I was a millionaire, I will buy Cross-Gen Comics from Disney and rehire all those dudes to do that universe. But I'm broke as freak, so that would never happen.
Whenever you say you're going to do like the hottest take that everyone's going to be mad at, you always say something like common sense. Like, you guys ain't going to leave me here, but I'm telling you this right now, Jim Lee was a damn good artist. You can hate me. It was like, no shit, Sherlock. Where'd you come up with that hot take? You got any good videos? You got this video coming up after the show, right? Lord of the Rings?
Got a video coming out where I'm exposing Amazon Studios. They was at 3 million dislikes. Now all of a sudden they at 1 million dislikes. Video is coming in 2 hours. Make sure to come to the Fatal J channel and check that out. Give me a bunch of views and likes. I really appreciate it. Plus the like button, when you hit it, it's free. Don't cost nothing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Fatal J is exposing the conspiracy at Amazon, and we all appreciate that. Drew from Comics Elite, you're going directly to the con after we do a recording after this. What are you recommending this week? Obviously, we're going to make a video tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'll say, if you can't go to the show Backborn of Blood, but I do want to talk about something else real quick. The Hero Initiative recently put out a video of William Mesner Loebs being moved into a stable home and out of transient housing, courtesy of them and other individuals. Guys, remember, when you go to a convention and see these Hero Initiative cups at a creator's table, they do go to a good cause. William and his writings were a big influence on my life and a reason why I'm writing right now. And it's great seeing him put in a stable home. Not all these guys are millionaires. And yeah, please, if you can donate, please donate.
Are you recommending any comics?
We'll talk about that later.
All right, we're going to do that one tomorrow. Do you have anything coming up on the channel over at Comics Elite?
We'll probably be doing some interviews of some upcoming shows, and we're going to talk more about the Moon Knight show. I'm not the biggest fan, but yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have a ton of new footage coming up.
Badass. We've also got Doc, the Marvel aficionado himself. You recommend anything? I know you really liked X-Men number 10. Oh, Doc's not here. Did he leave? He's muted himself. All right, Josh.
Oh no,
we got the Doc.
Sorry, I there were dogs barking, so I muted myself, and then I forgot to unmute. No, X-Men 10 was, well, we'll discuss that on This Week in X-Men tomorrow. Venom was okay. And one thing I will recommend is putting the Artist Elite Comics primer red and blue on your pre-order list at your local comic shop.
They do have a fantastic lineup of artists. Have you gotten some previews on that one, Drew?
Yes, I have. Sean has shown me stuff from Freddie Williams and Brett Booth. It's going to blow your minds, especially Freddie. These guys, they're going to be packing some serious punches. Trust me.
They call him Fred X because he always delivers. You know what I mean?
Yes, when you see the emotional punch his comic's going to have, is going to break your heart. I guarantee it. It's amazing.
Very nice. Last but not least, we do have Josh, the Batman aficionado himself. the DC historian guy. How you doing, Josh? What do you recommend?
Well, I've unfortunately only had the opportunity to read Batman books this
Oh, that
week,
was
and
bad.
I
Bad
do
move.
not recommend. I actually, you know what? Batman Catwoman number 11, great book.
Really?
No, it's not. It's terrible.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that book later. Oh my god, that's
I disagree.
Dude, it's
Man.
so bad.
Oh, it's been wanted.
There's a lot of bad books. There is a book that I picked up that I'm
Flashpoint Beyond.
I mean, that was all right. It was fine.
Fine.
But there's an indie book that I picked up called Dark Beach, and I'm waiting to read it, but I've heard positive things, so we'll see if it's actually good. I don't know if you read it or not, Drew, but we'll see. I've like at this point, I've got all my hope going into indies. I think you're going to see that on the video tomorrow. And then Drew, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Moon Knight, because there's stuff that I love and there's stuff that I hate.
in the show.
I can't get past that first episode.
There's a lot more I don't care for than I actually like. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Fatal J, you can get one more Moon Knight Sucks video out if you watch the second episode.
Okay, because those
You know what I
Disney
mean?
Plus shows, they've been a huge letdown, man. They suck. That Hawkeye was
great.
disappointing.
I thought Hawkeye was the best one.
I thought Hawkeye was good. I think Hawkeye ended on a down note. That's why we speak negatively about it. But I mean, Hawkeye did a lot of things good, right.
I only
They
like the
fixed-
episode where he lost his hearing aid. No, that's the only one I like.
That was a good moment. I agree with you.
Hey, they fixed Kate Bishop, so
Hey, that was a lot of hard work. Say thank you very much to everyone for supporting the channel. Thank you very much to all the panel members. These are the Comics Aficionados. I couldn't have the channel here in this show without them. I really appreciate all that. Everyone, enjoy your Easter weekend. We will see you next weekend right here on Thank You Critical YouTube for the Comics Aficionados.
Doc, you got something